all come true. Fly away, swim the ocean, drive that open road, leave the past behind you. Don't stop, gotta keep moving. Your hopes, you gotta keep building. Never ever forget that I got you and you got me. So reach up for the stars. Climb every mountain high and reach up for the stars. Follow your heart's desire. Reach up for the stars. And when that rainbow shining over you, that's when the dreams will come true. Don't believe in all that you've been told. The sky's the limit, you can reach your goal. There ain't nothing you can beat. There's a world where I like to be. Climb every mountain, reach for the moon, follow that rainbow.
Whew! That was more hard work than I thought it would be. So, let me just have a sip of this water. And we'll begin with today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm definitely getting older, because shit like that definitely makes me short of breath. Yeah, it's tough. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's show. I'm hoping we'll get the sector speaking tonight. I feel it's been a long time since we've had a proper call-in show. I've been told that lots has been happening whilst we've been away. So I want you to tell me, and we'll provide insight in what we hear. Unfortunately, and I'll just preface the show with something. Unfortunately, Destiny has continued to, spiral. So I wanted to cover some Destiny news, some weird lore. I've compiled a few timestamps. It's almost as autistic as Destiny thinking that real people were AI. And then, they'll go into the corner section. So I just want to see if we are still live. So bear with me, folks. I am out of breath. That's crazy. So, one moment as we get everything together.
I need to talk to you. We need help. We're being pushed to our limit by wars and natural disasters. And more
Thanks for that. So, are we live? Kino Dogma 2007 Forever says, burn it all down. We are live, I hope. Let's go. Get this King Azani. Where's your fucking strides? Well, fortunately for me, it's actually about 20 to 11 here. And as soon as I get in from work, I don't wear strides, bro. The strides go straight off. I purely wear the attire I do wear, sir, to appease Europe. Otherwise, I'd be entirely nude. I suppose another 14 years I probably will be, just screaming into the void, dancing to steps. Is it S Club 7? Reach for the stars. Okay. So, we begin sort of as a little sequel, a little adjointer to the last stream we did, Death to Destiny. Now, Destiny, in the wake of the failed assassination attempt against Donald Trump, spiraled out of control. Over and over and over again, wished the rally participants dead, and those that were dead, he wished they'd just fuck off and burn. They deserved the fate that they had before them. That was the Destiny take. And as he doubled down, as he went to all and sundry, Piers Morgan no less, and doubled down on the tape, and got called inhuman, despicable, a goblin, by Piers Morgan no less. He continued to double down and double down on the tape. In fact, he continued to double down so much that he insulated any rational thinking and assumed that everyone speaking against him was a bot, an AI bot at that. We saw him literally look at video feeds of a man's life, an old boomer, and he came to the conclusion that that man was AI. Well, I can assure you he wasn't AI. It was just a boomer. Piers is dunking on him. I don't know. Destiny needs a spoonie arc. Well, as we all know, that during every sector arc has a rise. They always seem to just skirt out of the rim of what we'd call the sector and reach the Earthlight. You might assume they'll be stepping into the vacuum of space, maybe going to the moon or the sun. Alas, they never seem to quite leave orbit. They always seem to re-enter and meet a fiery
Mobile's unlimited social media is
fall
great.
down. This is what my laptop's doing right at the moment.
Even though you're
Look at this.
Yeah.
What is this? What's happening?
with unlimited social media
Okay,
on Vox
I just had to
Mobile.
press escape.
Selected social apps
Okay,
in UK.
so-
TNCs apply.
What should we put on here? You know, I was really in my stride there. I should get ad block, I guess. But for some reason, you can't use ad block on an incognito window. What a fucking joke. Let's do purple rain. Fuck it. But what will the advert be? Oh no, it will just be directly the same. Fantastic. So, right. So, every star rises must fall. Everyone that seems to be reaching new highs and leaving the sector must indeed re-enter it and be buried in the shallow grave that we've already got dug for them. In fact, we had it dug the moment they started to start on their ascendant flight path. Okay, that's what we were doing. So, with Destiny, he's kind of touching more and more of a mainstream air than I think he ever has done. I think everyone's sort of clutching their pearls at Destiny. Even the mainstream media outlets are clutching their pearls at Destiny. He might be speedrunning the fall, actually, when you think about it. It might be a rise and fall simultaneously happening, if that's possible. But I think it is, and we see it with Destiny. So, I wanted to play for you Destiny on the Boogie Lolcow Live podcast. And we'll touch on a bit of what's been going on there as well with Boogie at some point. But this isn't going to be about Boogie primarily today. It's going to be more about Destiny and sort of calling things out. So, bear with me. But every time I click on it, is it going to... Okay.
He never told you that you would pass it off.
Okay, I think we've got everything right. You can use incognito tabs if you use Firefox and not Chrome, like an NPC animal. Well, I refuse to use Firefox. I've always refused. I think Firefox is for... I won't go that far, but I think it's for what you think I think it's for. Nonsense. Firefox is for nuts. Fix aspect ratio. What is the aspect ratio? Am I upside down? I mean, when I'm looking at my live replay of my stream, this is all I see. So that's where we're at, folks. Use Brave browser. I shan't be using Brave browser. If it ain't gonna, well, I think I'm on Microsoft Edge. If it's not going to work with Microsoft Edge, then I'm afraid I have no use for it at this moment in time. It was a boomer running a scam and not an AI. I'm vertical, they say. Am I vertical or landscape? Oh, I am vertical. Look at this. Oh, shit. This is fucked. Look at that fucked aspect ratio, bros. That really is fucked. Right. So, let's persevere. So, this is this LOLCOW Live podcast, and I guess Destiny went on at some point to call Boogie out on this fake cancer. And there's a reason we're going back here. It all pertains to Destiny later on, so ignore this fat fuck as we persevere.
Sure, that's true. I had to Google that.
Okay, yes. Which is what we thought.
Oh my
That's what
God! Your doctor did not tell you you had cancer?
Correct. That's why this was the very first question I asked when I came on your show 3 or 4 days ago, because I knew that he never said it.
Then why is it that today you're telling us that it's not confirmed?
The doctor was able to confirm it.
Yeah, both doctors have confirmed it. Why are you saying today you need another test?
This doctor doesn't speak very good English. That's why I don't see him anymore.
Was there Dr. Gupta?
Well, you remember about 3 weeks back I said that I likely could potentially have a form of cancer? Turns out I got a rare blood cancer called polycythemia vera. I've known about this for a little over 6 weeks. That it was a probability, though I just got my official diagnosis. But I hope it gives you an idea of why I've been so worried about my money, why I've been so worried about my career, why I've been so worried about my future, why I've done some of the things I've done and said some of the things I've said.
Oh, hello.
Hey, how you doing? I heard you're having a fun week.
I always have fun weeks.
Good. Say what you got to say to me, and then I got maybe a few things I would like to say to you.
Sure. What is the theme for this episode? What are we talking about, Keemstar?
Well, Boogie has finally admitted that he has no confirmation that he has cancer.
Okay.
The theme of this episode is, will Boogie get fired from the show? We decided he has to get fired. I mean, this is like pretty up. We're trying to think of ways that he can earn his will back and punishments. He giving the play button to me. It's already being mailed to my house. We're going to put out for auction. That money will go to charity. He bought a Medicare hat. Medicare actually has cancer.
Exodon.
He's not a... Well, get the hat, because we need to see you with that hat for sure.
Oh, okay.
And then also, what else did we talk about? Mountain Dew. You're never allowed. He's never allowed to drink Mountain Dew again because
just on the Mountain Dew point. Best thing Boogie ever did wasn't actually Boogie. If you're aware of what I'm going to go to now, then props, you get a medal, sir. But the best thing Boogie actually wasn't Boogie. It was someone remixing Boogie into this amazing song. And I think in Days of Yore we have done show intros to this one. But just while we're on Boogie, this was the best thing after this man eating a yogurt. For some reason, the adverts keep shilling me Muller Lights. Why? Why doth it do this? So, best thing Boogie ever did was be part of this.
Where's my Mountain Dew? Where are you hiding Mountain Dew? I'm raining in here. And I don't have any Mountain Dew.
How much is Keen paying Jim to shill that boring show? I know. Pills and an AIDS test isn't proof of cancer. You hear that, Jim? Pills and an AIDS test isn't proof of cancer. Cancer. I hope he chokes on pills. I will choke on pills. Yeah, Boogie's so that first clip that we showed you there, it's from 2 years ago, of Boogie planting those seeds that he has for cancer to do. It all kind of unraveled, I guess, when he started shilling this crypto scam that he obviously said was a scam. The coin literally had his face on it. But I guess we have to clutch the pearls and say that Boogie was grifting his audience, as he's called out by other people that grift their audiences. It's the 289th time, literally, that I have seen Boogie nailed to the cross. I'm amazed he's even got palms left. The palms at this point have so many nails driven through them that there mustn't be any flesh left, right? How are they still nailing him to this cross? I have no idea, but they still are, I guess. And it is very scummy. The fact is, I mean, we've all had to read about a man faking cancer. And I guess it turns out that he doesn't have fake cancer, that he's like awaiting a diagnosis or something. I don't know. He has this slow blood cancer, where, like Jim, he dies for 40 years, I guess. But my cancer is realer than your cancer. Well, my sector's cancer is realer than all your cancers, bro. So let's go back to this and persevere with destination.
Unhealthy, and one of the main risks of this disease is that he could have a stroke or heart attack, and he kept saying that and using that for manipulation. But here you are not doing it.
Let's be real. Boogie is at a higher risk of stroke and heart attack than like I am, than like you are, I guess, than like Destiny is. He's PPP size. He's like 400 fucking pounds, bro. Of course he's at higher risk. He don't need cancer to be at a higher risk of stroke and heart attack. He just needs to eat Mackies. He just needs to keep filling his hole with Taco Bell. Like, is it just me? I guess it's just me. But fuck it. I'll happily nail this fuck to the cross. Palms left or no palms?
You're drinking Mountain Dew. So that was another thing.
Well, again, I only drink diet, and it's doctor approved. It's 0 calories. But
Doctor approved Mountain Dew.
Things that could
Let's go.
Carcinogens and stuff in it, so that's why we
My doctor keeps telling me my blood pressure's too high, pussy.
Wait, hold on, wait. Just to be clear, that was a lie. Whatever just said. No doctor is telling you don't drink Mountain Dew diet because it has carcinogens in it. Are you talking about like aspartame or whatever?
I didn't say that. My doctor has approved diet soda. He says it's fine. But because I've read research that says aspartame and all this other stuff, I don't want to complicate it further. I don't even need to be taking caffeine in, which is the whole reason I drank diet soda, was to have caffeine through the day. Why the f*** I need caffeine? What am I doing in the day? You know?
Okay.
I don't need that shit in my body.
Many people have said that this lolcow live shit is just scripted.
Destiny, did you think that when you came in and confronted
a lot of the
Boogie about
shows
this,
have
that
been quite
it would
clearly
turn out this way?
scripted to the point of being the most
I have
cringe
no idea.
script.
It was just surprising to me.
This
that,
is
it was
the
pretty easy to
cringiest
see
script
what was
of all.
happening, and
But it is kind of,
one of the most.
I feel it kind of fertile because it eventually will boil into, these men that have faked having cancer on the internet for years now, having to prove that they actually don't have cancer. I guess they've started with Boogie, but, let he who casteth the first stone be without sin, Jim. Let he who casteth the first stone be without sin, Jim.
dedicated hater bases on the internet, so I didn't know how anybody hadn't called him out for it. And I think the issue is that it was pretty crazy when my kid's mom, I think she was 23 or 24 when she got diagnosed with.
Pay close attention, because this, right, all right, class. This is the reason why we're here. So pay close attention. Get your pencils out, get your notebook out, because this one requires a closer listen before we move on to greater insight offered. So this is why we're here. Preamble over. Main attraction now. So listen to this. Note it down.
Easy to see what was happening, and I feel like Boogie is like one of the most dedicated hater bases on the internet, so I didn't know how anybody hadn't called him out for it. And I think the issue is that it was pretty crazy when my kid's mom, I think she was 23 or 24.
So he skirted over that quite fast, but write it down. He says, I think it was pretty crazy when my kid's mama was diagnosed. I think she was 22, 23. All right? A slowed down version of what he's just said in like Adderall fueling his tongue.
Like one of the most dedicated hater bases on the internet, so I didn't know how anybody hadn't called him out for it. And I think the issue is that it was pretty crazy when my kid's mom, I think she was 23 or 24 when she got diagnosed with stage 4. I think it's either Hodgkin's or non-Hodgkin's leukemia, and so there was like a whole
stage 4 Hodgkin's or non-Hodgkin's leukemia. Add that to your notebook. We're going to get into all of this.
Ordeal of like supporting her through that. We had to like break up in order to like qualify her for Medicaid, in order for her to afford the medications. I was trying to buy them initially.
We had to break up so we could scam medical care out of the government. Okay, add that one to the list. Hope you're writing this down, Neats.
And I don't remember what the treatment was. They're like 2 pills that I bought. They're like $1,000 a pill. I was like, we can't do that. I can't afford this. No.
2 pills we bought. They were $1,000 a pill. Destiny says we can't do that. We can't afford this. Bear in mind, this man is Destiny. Okay. So tells her to go on welfare, break up with her, and get the medical care. Right. Are we listening closely? Because we are going to get into all of this. I'm the only one that's noticed this shit, bizarrely. You know? Like, sometimes I just feel like it will all run without me quite smoothly. But, you know, I have to come off my mount to actually do it myself. All the fucking time. All the time. Why don't you do this? You're supposed to, like, run this smoothly in my absence. Allow me to just come in, do a show here and there, using your work that you've prepared for me. Why does that never happen? Why do I always have to do all of the heavy lifting all the fucking time? I mean, literally no one has picked this up apart from me. I've actually looked for streams that have picked this up. No one. Why? Why? I fail to see the reason. Guy in the chat says he hasn't done it because he's a lazy retard. Well, I agree wholeheartedly, sir. All of you are lazy retards. Like, I should be the lazy one, huh? No one is as perceptive as you. Like, maybe that's the X factor that allows this to continue as long as it has, all these years, with this loyal fan base of Speds and Spurgs. Because it's just that we have the edge on it. I lead the way, sir. So let's try and figure this one out. So if you've been adding to your notes here, we'll just replay for any notations that you've missed, because I've noticed we've had a spike in viewers. So let's go back to what Destiny said.
That it would turn out this way?
Was happening, and I feel like Boogie is like one of the most dedicated hater bases on the internet, so I didn't know how anybody hadn't called him out for it. And I think the issue is that it was pretty crazy when my kid's mom, I think she was 23 or 24 when she got diagnosed with
kid's mom, Destiny's baby mama, 23 or 24, diagnosed with Hodgkin's or non-Hodgkin's leukemia.
With stage 4. I think it's either Hodgkin's or non-Hodgkin's leukemia, and so there was like a whole ordeal of like supporting her through that. We had to like break up in order to like qualify her for Medicaid.
We had to break up in order to scam the government for Medicare.
For her to afford the medications. I was trying to buy them initially, and
he was buying them initially because Destiny's a baller, of course, because he's fucking Destiny.
I don't remember what the treatment was. They're like 2 pills that I bought. They were like $1,000 a pill. I was like, damn.
2 pills, $1,000 a pill. Destiny was like, I can't afford that shit. I'm going to break up with you. You are going on welfare.
We can't do that. I can't afford this shit. No way. So we had to break up so that she could qualify for like state assistance for medical shit because I was a streamer, so I didn't have like healthcare. And yeah, it was that comment. It truly was. The comment at the end of that CoffeeZilla video was like, it's cancer. It always kills you. And I'm like, wait, what the Why would a person with cancer say that? There's so many people that are fighting against cancer, that are fighting against cancer, like every day in the United States and the world. That's such an unhinged, crazy thing to say, and that's what triggered me enough to start digging. I'm like, oh, okay, because he doesn't have cancer, which makes sense. But
so the crypto scam.
All right. That's what we needed there. That's what we needed from the Boogie stream. We might come back to this, but that's the key takeaway that we needed as we move into this next.
Say goodbye to old costly cable TV once and for all.
Who the fuck has cable TV?
It gives you access to your favorite channels and movies.
It's literally a Fire Stick, by the way, being shielded by an AI. So
It's been 7 hours and 50 days since you took your love away.
okay. So the law that was exposed there was that Destiny and his baby mama, I guess. We'll go to Cliff for this one. Welcome back, King. Pity I missed the show. There is a sort of obscure Destiny law that might be of interest. During his confrontations with Boogie about the fake cancer, he brought up that his mother and his baby mama have cancer. The baby mama is of particular interest. He claims they were forced to separate so she could have better health coverage or some shit. But what he is not saying is that back then, when he was just started with his gaming career, fights between them would be very frequent. And I mean real fights, as in they were trying to kill each other. During an old Destiny stream, Destiny mentioned that he choked her in self-defense and called the police on her, the mother of his child with cancer. The little bastard has seemingly managed to remove all archives of that stream. Yet, shadows of it remain. And we'll be stepping into the shadows tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing can stop these lonely tears from falling. Tell me, baby, where did I go wrong? I could put my arms around every boy I see.
Okay, this from 6 years ago. Okay, can somebody explain to me why Destiny just admitted on stream that he choked his ex-girlfriend? Why would he admit to choking his ex-girlfriend? Why would anybody ever admit to that? I'm so deeply confused by this. He's literally defending a man who beats his pregnant wife, and then, just over a little while later, admits he beat his own ex-girlfriend. I mean, the only thing I, and basically anyone else, would be taking away from this is that it's an abuser defending another abuser. Is Destiny an idiot? Or am I missing something? If she had guard on him, she could have easily transitioned into an amber or triangle. As you can see, he was the victim. I think Destiny finally won the debate. So wait, the entire thing about both Destiny and Rachel abusing each other, all you got was that Destiny choked Rachel? Well, Destiny is a man, and Rachel is a woman. Need I say more? Destiny fans, fucking hell. Because you cherry-picked what he said. His relationship was one of mutual abuse. He got slapped around. She got choked from time to time. Guess what? Women are equally capable of being instigators. More dangerous. Yeah, no. I agree, women can be abusers, but the vast majority of the time, women are weaker than men. Because he's done it countless times before? What's one more time gonna do? This isn't new information at all. We're talking about Destiny. The guy who on stream talked about wanting to find a kid who was DDoSing him and kill him. So, it's not just the shadows of Reddit that survive on this one. There's also a stream that survives. This stream, Destiny, describes his psychotic behavior, which was influenced by his fucking psychotic grandmother. Abuse begets abuse, folks, and this explains why he's so fucked up. So we're doing the whole Destiny family tree, I guess. We'll leave the kid out of it. But now we're going to Destiny's grandmama. Making of a Destiny. Maybe that's what I'll call this. So let's make a Destiny to this. I swear, if it gives me an advert, my head might explode. No,
I'm gonna give away.
It's an advert, but not this one. This one. Okay. Let's do this.
Fucking insane, dude. You said your grandma put down your dogs? These are fucking insane, dude. You said your grandma put down your dogs? So, as part of not getting much attention from my parents early on, I think my mom hated this, but I would go to my grandma's every weekend. This is where I ran into some shit that I'm probably never going to tell on stream. This is where I had my black friend Jay, who lived at these
My
apartments.
black friend Jay!
I remember him. I drive by him sometimes. But I would go and visit my grandma every weekend. My grandma, I didn't know at the time what's like normal or not, but my grandma is like really fucking weird. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before. My grandma had this problem where she would like buy dogs and then kill them.
My grandma ate dogs alive.
The 8 years that I
My
spent
grandma
with
bit dogs and ate them and killed them with her teeth, like Jules from Moonraker. My grandma.
must have had like 20 dogs.
She ate 20 dogs with her teeth, alive and barking.
Multiple greyhounds.
Greyhounds!
The first two that she put down that bothered me a lot were the Cocker Spaniel, Gummy Bear, and Squeaky. The Cocker Spaniel and the Dash Hound. She had, I don't even fuck.
This crazy bitch fucking thought the sausage dog was made of sausages. What the fuck? Destiny news alert! It's a Godwinson live news alert. Destiny's grandmama, Destiny's granny, kills dogs with her teeth. Cocker spaniels, greyhounds, dash hounds, with her teeth. Oh my word!
I don't know dogs or shit, but she had a fuck ton of dogs. I would guess anywhere from 15 to 20 dogs.
15 or 20 dogs!
She would buy a dog, and then she would keep it for 3 or 4 months, and then it would do something wrong, like it would pee in the house or it would chew up some furniture, but like she never trained him or anything. And she would get mad, and then she would like make up a story about how the dog was sick, or she didn't want to give the dog up because she was worried that somebody would abuse it. And then she would take it to the vet, and they would end up putting it down. And she would do this like fucking like crazy. My grandmother was similar. I can't believe you're saying this. Did she have
My
dementia?
grandmother was similar? What the fuck is Destiny's audience? My grandmother was... What is this audience? What is this? What is this cancer that's been allowed to grow in the darkness? My grandmother was similar? Like, bruh, what the fuck? Audience question. Has your grandmother been eating dogs with her teeth? Your grandmother been biting dogs and killing them? Biting them until they're dead? But are any of your grandmothers similar to Destiny? Not even once. Destiny's audience is more fucked up than he is. You eat it whilst it's still hot and with a pulse. Fido, you have failed me for the last time. I believe it's called a Cuban hot dog. That's mental. Eating pit bull heads. Beta dogs getting killed by a far-fuck Cuban granny. His grandma is a feral beaner. No wonder Destiny is completely fucked in the head. Serial dog killing grannies. Destiny's granny plus Jade Medica dog kill count over 9,000. It's one happy family. Fucking hell. Just when I thought we'd reached a new low, we've record-breakingly hit an even newer low. So let's persevere. My grandma ate dogs. Alive.
See, my grandmother was similar. I can't believe you're saying this. Did she have dementia? So here's a really weird thing that happened to me. One of the weirdest things. When I was living with my grandma, when I was 17, so we had a little, I don't even remember what kind of dog this was. It kind of looked like Shiloh, I think, the dog.
Right, so I show Shiloh.
No. Wait, wasn't there a...
That's a fucking big dog if this bitch is eating that with her teeth. This bitch has got... This bitch is, like, killing this dog with her teeth? Like, what the fuck was Destiny's grandma? Like, what the fuck?
Or was it Wishbone? Hear the story of Wishbone.
Oh, look at this little
like
dog.
this.
Look at this little doggo. This evil cunt. This evil cunt was, like, eating this little doggo with her teeth. What the fuck? What an evil cunt.
It was one of these kinds of dogs.
He's got a fucking bow tie on. Did she eat the bow tie as well, you sick, decadent, molested fuck?
This dog got in trouble a ton. This little dog pissed an unbelievable amount in my grandma's room. It was insane.
News alert! News alert, folks. A dog will piss in your room if you allow it in the house. If you're living with an animal, like an animal, then it's going to piss in your house. It's going to piss on your bed. The trick is, ladies and gentlemen, is not to live like an animal and allow a beast beyond the threshold. That's the truth, is it not? Never allow a beast beyond the threshold. Like, you have one rule as a civilized human being, and that's not to sleep with animals. That's not to allow animals in your own living space. Is to keep animals away. Is to allow the beasts their space and you your own. That's top tip. Top tip.
Her whole fucking floor next to her bed was coated in dog piss.
My granny's bedroom was coated in dog piss.
Amount. Like,
Uncomfortable
how did this
amount.
Dog produce this much piss. It was ridiculous.
It was reeking of piss.
I remember one of the days that I was awake, because I had a girlfriend and I used to leave at 5 a.m. and we would mess around before fucking high school every morning, right? So I would leave really early. One of the days that I got up to leave, it was like 4:30, 4:45. I heard the dog pissing in my grandma's room and I'd never seen it before. And this dog was taking this massive piss. And I remember that I opened my door and my grandma had her hands on the bed. And she was just kind of like barely like leaning over, and she was just pissing all over the floor.
Oh my god! What the fuck? He's just been shagging his high school sweetheart. He hears a dog pissing in his granny's room. He's not doing anything about it. He just peers through the crack of the door. He sees the dog pissing. He looks sideways. He sees his grandma having a pissing contest with the dog. Onto the fresh linen, onto the carpet, no less, of this room. Making of a destiny. Like, this is fucked, is it not? My grandma was just like that. My grandma was just like that. Oh my god, destiny. My grandma was just like that. Let's bond. Let's trauma bond. I would.
Looked at me, and I kind of looked at her,
and I looked at her.
I didn't say anything, and she kind of like grumbled a little bit, and then she like crawled back into bed, and I left, and I was like, holy fuck. So I guess like all of that in the bedroom was just hers, but I'm pretty sure that she had like dementia going on later in life, because she was clocked the fuck out. I noticed this as a kid when I was like 16, 17. The way that I really noticed this was like we would watch TV in the main room sometimes, is I would notice that like when she would watch TV, like any kind of funny show, she was like never really paying attention. Like her eyes would kind of like wander, but she would always laugh with the studio audience. So whenever the studio audience laughed, she would laugh like half a second after. And I could tell. I was like, she's totally fucking clocked out.
NPC, dog eating, pissing on the kitchen floor grandma. That's what this is.
Like when she was talking to people, she would. It was like you were listening to like a. Oh yeah, I think this was the dog I was thinking of. She would use like a collection of like mannerisms and shit, but you could tell that there was like nobody really left in there. I don't know, dude. That was like really fucked up shit. Like seeing, I don't know if it was like dementia or something, but you said it was like Python scripts when talking to her. Yeah, it was like she had like these scripted responses for everything, but like you could tell that she wasn't really, yeah. Do you regret selling her meds to your black friend? I never sold them. I'm pretty sure I said what happened to that shit.
Okay, you've convinced
he never
me
talked to his
donate.
grandmother.
Please
he just watched her
don't
kill
make
dogs
Nathan
and piss on the floor.
to fields.
Yeah, what a
I
loving
think it's
grandson.
histrionic personality disorder. My grandfather had tons of attention-seeking and weird dramatic behavior. She was diagnosed with dementia. My grandma did it, well, I don't know if it counts as attention-seeking, but my grandma was one of those people that would shop around at doctors. She had a whole fucking closet full of pain meds. When she finally moved away and died, or maybe she just moved away. When did she die? I don't remember if she died when I was 18 or if it was much later. There was really weird shit that happened. I had power of attorney over her, and I remember getting like a social security payment or some shit and trying to take it, and I think I got in trouble for that.
What the fuck? He tried to get power of attorney over her. He got it, I guess, and then falsely claimed social security in her name when she died. Can we just throw this man in jail for fraud? Being a complete piece of shit, hate-inciting weirdo that wants violence and even... this guy, American heroes who have shielded their families from bullets and lost their life in the consequence of that action, he wants them to burn in hell because they attended a Trump rally. He's admitted to committing fraud multiple times on this stream. This latest accusation, this latest count that he's admitted to willfully is that he, once his grandmother died, falsely claimed social security. What a deadbeat piece of shit.
She had like a closet full of medication, like full of medication, and it was like oxy and like hydrocodone and shit. It was so much shit. I didn't know shit about drugs, because I didn't do anything. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I was so paranoid of ruining my mind. I had like, at this point in my life, like intelligence and enlightenment were like the most important things to me. And I was so paranoid that if I were to drink or do any kind of drugs that I would like fuck my brain up or something. So I didn't do shit. But I made a friend at the casino when I started working at the casino later, and I showed him like some of the lists of some of the medication, and oh my god, dude, I threw away like tens of thousands of dollars of fucking pills, and I felt so stupid. I actually found this out.
I feel so stupid I didn't drug deal my grandmother's pills. Like, what the fuck? He felt so stupid. He didn't drug deal those pills and instead disposed of them.
After I did it, I went dumpster diving. Me and my wife, we went dumpster diving to try to find, because she helped me. When we went...
We were stuck for money. We went dumpster diving to try and find the pills that we chucked away so we could drug deal them.
And when my grandma finally moved out, we took a pillowcase, and we needed two. We needed 2 pillowcases to fill them up with pill bottles of Oxy and hydrocodone and shit, and Vicodin. Like, we filled these things up, and we just tossed them into the fucking dumpster. Holy shit. I felt sick to my stomach. I tried to go to a pharmacist afterwards to fill one of her prescriptions out, but for some reason, I don't remember, he wouldn't...
tried, after she dies, he goes to a pharmacist to claim on her prescriptions. What the fuck, bruh? This is beyond, isn't it? After she dies, after he's thrown away these pills, because he's got, like, I guess, dealer's remorse here, and wants to deal the drugs for money. He then finds one of her old prescriptions, goes to the pharmacist to fraudulently claim that prescription so he can then sell on the pills. Holy fuck! Holy shit! I mean, we talk of morality, but is there a morality with Destiny? Now, he believes he's got a cogent idea and theory of how the world should be run. He sits on this like stream all day, talking to this audience of cancer, talking about how he would run the world, poking holes in arguments with his seemingly coherent reasoning that skirts over anything of logic by just talking very fast with an Adderall-fueled tongue. But when you actually break down the words that he says, right, we're not even like 30 minutes into this. You unpick a web of scum and villainy. That this is a godless man, isn't it? I have no idea what you'd call this apart from immoral, inhuman. To use the word that Piers coined and applied to Destiny, this is despicable, bruh. Fucking despicable.
Prescription had expired or had already...
So someone says send this vid to Piers Morgan. What I don't understand is, why has Piers' team not covered this? Why does it literally take me to do this? Like, Piers Morgan is Piers Morgan. Everyone covering Destiny is everyone covering Destiny. I guarantee you they all get a lot more viewership than I do. They're all in this for as much money as I can even fathom. So why aren't they doing this? Like, I don't understand. Because it's all there. This was from fucking 6 years ago. My early life was really bizarre. There you go. You can tie it all together. Use this exact script that I've laid out before you. It's not hard. I just don't understand why.
Or whatever, but...
It's like people have forgotten. It's like they always forget. Every 6 months they just wipe their memories.
Have you ever had a gay experience? Kipo.
Maybe, my dude. Do you think it's moral to sell them? I didn't have any morality at the time, because this is when I was going through like my very nihilistic phase, because I had transitioned out of being a very hardcore Catholic into pretty much pure nihilism. I
didn't have any morality at the time. Well, it's kind of pretty moral to dispose of the pills and not deal them. It sounds pretty immoral to be reflecting on years after the fact with regret and remorse that you didn't sell the pills. Right? I mean, just me? Or... I was nihilistic. Well, what the fuck are you now, bro?
real like moral compass or anything. So yeah, if I had the opportunity to, I would have sold them for sure. Old people do that. They hoard old medications that are often expired. Oh yeah, maybe she did, but she got medication that she didn't need. She would do. She would shop doctors. And since we had TRICARE or some military bullshit, it seemed like she could go to like a million different doctors. Like she was always every fucking day she had a new doctor appointment with a new dude, and she would always come back with more scripts because she would have me drive out and pick them up for her a lot. Not assuming I have to sleep kind of early today because I'm waiting for my league man to expire tomorrow, right? We're playing league, right? Classic hypochondria with dementia? Yeah, maybe. Or I mean, I don't know. I can't diagnose anything, but he would have been caught by a cop. I probably would have sold everything to my friend in the kitchen.
Oh my god.
That's what I would have if I would have had those. I would have just sold it all to the dude in the back. Although I guess he would have turned around
I'm
if he got
taking
caught.
care
So.
of my uncle who has dementia. He had the same characteristics you described.
My uncle also used to piss on the bedroom floor and kill dogs with his teeth. He had the same characteristics that you described. I'm just like you. This audience is cancer. This audience is worse than he is.
Watching him is like watching an NPC who has a set lines and behaviors.
Yeah.
He laughs when he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. Your friend was a cop? No, he definitely wasn't a cop. This guy would drive me to work sometimes, like smoking a bowl. he had to leave like 30 minutes early. This fucking retard was driving like fucking 35, 40 miles an hour in the fucking interstate. Blazed out of his fucking mind. Fucking Randy, dude. I love that guy to death. He was so cool. But how did your father only make $5K? Because he was working with something called Amway, some multi-level marketing bullshit. Like, it's just stupid.
So, the dad was part of a pyramid scheme from the sounds of it. Alright, the whole family tree being exposed tonight. Shit.
Deep cover ops? Yeah, maybe it was deep cover, dude. Maybe it was deep cover. Whatever happened to him? I don't know. He quit working at the casino, got a different job, moved out probably. How did your grandma keep getting dogs? I don't know. I guess they're not hard to get. I don't know how I ever forgave her. I guess kids, don't matter.
How the fuck can you forgive a bitch for killing dogs with their teeth? For allowing you to watch through the crack in the bedroom door as she and this dog enter a pissing contest on her own floor. How'd you forgive that shit? I tried to forgive her. Unforgivable shit. But you know what's worse? It's not learning those lessons, Destiny. You know, you can come from shit and ascend, right? I'm sure. You know, plenty of white trash, plenty of Cuban trash like you have ascended beyond. It's a real failure, a real inhuman, despicable faggot, I believe is what Piers Morgan called you. That blames the grandma for how he's turned out. That blames everyone in his life for how he turned out. The only one to blame for how you turn is you, bruh. Literally you. Right? Because sure as shit, that child you've got who's in the other room loading a fucking airsoft gun and shooting you in the head, that kid ain't gonna turn out all right. He might do if he just he learns lessons from you and ignores you. And it looks like he's doing that. It looks like he's learning the lessons from you and deciding enough's enough. I won't be doing that. Abuse begets abuse. And what we see with your child, priming a fake gun to shoot you in the head, do so on stream, maybe that cycle's going to continue, bro. Maybe he's going to be telling us all stories 16 years from now, right? Of what you did. What were you doing, bro? Dad was streaming on Twitch to an audience of faggots, crying and weeping and celebrating the deaths of American heroes, wishing death on anyone that went to a rally of a person he didn't politically agree with. Dad was sat in the darkness, calling legitimate criticism AI. Dad was real fucked up. I used to peer through this crack in the bedroom door here, and we'd lock eyes, and I'd see Dad just pissing his soul away. What's your kid gotta say, bro? Real.
That me and my sister were throwing a huge fit, and my parents were on the phone because my grandma and grandpa were on their way to the vet to put down Gummy Bear and Squeaky. These are like my first two like dogs that I'd grown really attached to. We had these dogs for like 3 or 4 years, and they for like no reason.
No wonder like this bitch was eating them with her teeth, right? If their names were Gummy Bear and Squeaky, you know. No wonder this bitch was taking a bite. Gummy Bear and Squeaky, like holy shit. You got right.
I don't even remember what they said. They said that they were in pain or something. And I remember my mom, not my mom, because my mom didn't like to talk to her mother-in-law. My dad was like on the phone trying to argue with them, like, why are you going to put them to sleep? Like this is
Someone
so
says,
stupid.
why do they keep buying dogs? Because the bitch is hungry, bro. She hungry. She hungry for that juicy dog meat. She want that dog meat. That's why they keep buying so many dogs. How many chickens have you bought in your lifetime? I've probably bought fucking thousands. How many fucking bits of cow have you bought in your lifetime? I've lost count. How many elements of a fucking pig have you eaten? Like, there's a reason why there's a copious amount of dogs, and they all seem to be rapidly killed. Because this bitch is hungry. Real hungry. She got taste of dog meat.
But they couldn't talk him out of it. And eventually they did it. But I guess somehow I eventually got over it. And in a couple of weeks, I went back over there, and I just spent all my time over there. I'm not sure why. I don't know why. I guess kids forgive quickly, or maybe kids don't get care that much, or maybe I didn't. I'm not sure. I don't know how they kept getting more and more and more dogs, and like nice dogs too. Like I remember she had 2 different greyhounds. Like these dogs are expensive, aren't they? Like the race dogs.
I want that greyhound
really
meat.
Skinny, really tall. I'm pretty
Give
sure.
me a greyhound.
Greyhounds, like the tall, skinny.
Oh, my greyhound's so with
like
fava
really bony
beans.
Dogs.
But a Chianti.
Yeah, I don't know how. Not these colors. I don't know how they were.
Yeah,
able
this
to
is
get
a
these
man that
dogs
looks
so
like
much.
he was raised on
these
dog
kinds of
meat,
colors.
right? Like,
Yeah,
holy
I don't know how
shit.
they were able to get these dogs so easily. Maybe
Cute
that's what
dogs,
they started
though.
with. I don't know. Did you get them from breeders or pounds? I don't know. Maybe they just went to the pound. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I've just been swanning you guys. They sent dogs to my house. It's alright though.
I watched
Bum Sniffer Dog came in and I used my
dad
hands to
died
crack
from
its
cancer
jaws
3
open.
years ago. He's a box of ashes.
I
in
ripped
my
it
mom's
apart
room. Now
with my
I just thought,
hands. I snapped
cheer,
its
since
jaw
we
in
are all
two.
having a connection right now.
Nice.
Cute dogs, though.
I got to play all the games that I wanted to. I got to watch all the scary movies
Yeah, I
I
did
wanted
that.
to.
I
So
did
this is
those
why,
things.
when I say I've seen all the scary movies, it's because I watch them on my grandma's, right? Species,
You don't know it's like.
The Dentist, The Birds, all the Child's Plays, all the Hellraisers, all the Friday the 13th,
Right.
all the Halloween.
So this is what he was watching as a young child. The horror films, I guess, also played a contribution into making a destiny.
Like not Gremlin. What was Gremlin and Gremlin 2? What was the name of the little monster that, like, if you fed it after midnight, it turned into a thing?
Gremlin,
I think there were 2 of those.
fucking tart!
Were they called Gremlins? Was that the name of the movie? Gizmo. Gizmo was a gremlin. Yeah, Gizmo was the cute one, right? Or Mogwai? I don't know. I don't fucking remember, dude. It's been a long time. All I remember is they turned, like, green and gooey or whatever. But
I thought it was actually on.
you said you saw surplus on the weekends, and you said you went to school early to mess around. Was that on a Sunday, or did you sleep over at their house? No. When I was in, like, grade school, I would go to their house every weekend. But once I was, like, 16, 17, 18, until I moved out, I lived with her at, like, a kind of like a quasi-senior citizen retirement home.
What? He lived
then
in a senior citizen retirement home. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? This is mental. This really is mental.
I got a car when I was 17, I think. And then I would go, and I would spend most of my extra time with my wife. Or, well, girlfriend at the time, I guess. Do you keep up with anyone from the casino? Not really. I don't keep up with anybody. My first car was a Dodge Neon. This is why I never bought American Compacts. I had a Dodge Neon And then my next car was like, this thing was such a piece of shit. Oh my fucking god.
Nice.
I don't even. You'll never find a picture of how horrible
Is
this
that
car
not
was.
an
It was a
AI
Dodge
bot?
Neon, and then I had,
Is
like,
that not
some
an AI
Saturn
bot
car.
chat there?
I don't know what it was called, but I remember that my dad co-signed on it, and I had an 18% interest rate on this car. It had like an 18% interest rate. It was unbelievable. Holy shit. And then after I got my job at the casino and everything, then I got my GTI that I had for like 10 years up until a few months ago, and I finally sold it and bought my first, my car right here. What's the most you saw someone win at the casino? I don't know. It was really hard. Most people didn't walk away with winning at the casino. Or if they did, what would happen is after losing a ton, they would win a decent amount. They'd go to the steakhouse. They'd blow a ton of money. They'd tip way too much. They'd come to the cafe. They'd buy some cheesecake. They'd tip.
Sounds like everyone at the casino was like PPP. Right? Everyone's a winner. Spending on steak and cheesecakes.
Way too much, and then they'd walk out, and then they'd be back the next day, and they'd lose it all again.
PPP.
If you never had Nathan, do you think you would have more spending habits similar to your parents? No, I don't know. I've always been like pretty good with numbers, I think, and or I don't know if no, I shouldn't say that. No, you know what it probably is? It's probably just my interests. I've never had like a big drive to have like a huge house or like an awesome, or even like cars. I wasn't really too into car shit until maybe like 5 or 6 years ago.
So we'll move on from a bit of the family tree and we'll go into, so in a more recent stream, Destiny talks about this drama he considers just fucking his audience, as they have less of a voice to bring issues to his business. So I'll give you context to what I mean by this. So listen to this.
It's so because this is going to sound a little weird or toxic. If you're a fan, I love you. Ignore what I'm about to say. Or actually not. I don't know. I don't even care. If you think it's weird, fuck you. It's so funny because people talk about like how toxic it is to like have sex with other streamers, or not streamers, like fans, or like flirting with fans and blah, 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 blah. From my personal experience, especially over the last year, engaging with people that are just like fans of my content, I'm able to do that so much better than with streamers. It is so much better than with streamers. Oh my God. None of the drama is public. There is no drama actually, because I can vet these people a lot easier. I've noticed I kind of gave this theory at the beginning of the year that I said, I wonder if streamers aren't actually horrible people. They're not like worse people. It's just that when everything is like public, it makes everything so much weirder.
SBFK?
And I think that like just dealing with like private people just makes things so much better, because there's not like the temptation to like use fan bases or run onto Twitter or like any crazy shit. Yeah.
If you bought a car...
How does he do this? Why does he do this? Why do they allow him to advertise when he says shit like this?
And I will outlast everyone.
Good job.
Anyway, are you ready for some kick or keep?
Yeah, whenever you guys are ready to go.
Base, yeah, you unfortunate souls, you'll never get rid of me. Sorry, unlucky.
Good luck. How did you and Merc fall out, or was that not serious? Me and Merc never had a falling out. We just never had a very strong friendship. I told Merc what I said. Merc comes off to me. I've said this before, and I'll always stand by this opinion. I've said it privately to her, and I've said it publicly, so I'm not talking shit about her. Like something I've said privately. I think Merc is a high validation-seeking person, and I think when she gets any pushback, I think...
All right. The last bit on Destiny that I wanted to get into is this, and I'll do it to this. So, hopefully I can get this track without an advert, but I have a feeling it's going to be so. So, bizarrely, there's a weird intersection that I wanted to cover, and maybe you'll guess how this plays out. Maybe you'll guess how this intersects with this one. I'm giving you a slight clue here. It might be hard to guess how all of this leads back to our perennial favourite. So it appears that Destiny, currently right now, is in a little gay Twitter war with Gator. Because one of Gator's VTubing trannies criticised Destiny's takes on Kirsch. Kirsch is one of the Medica chosen, by the way. Always, isn't it?
nothing. It's so funny because, like, this is going to sound a little weird or toxic. If you're a fan, I love you. Ignore what I'm about to say. Or actually not, I don't know. I don't care. If you think it's weird, fuck you. It's so funny because people talk about, like, how toxic it is to, like, have sex with other streamers. Or not streamers, like fans, or, like, flirting with fans, and blah, 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 blah.
For some reason, it won't let me load up my Twitch. So I can't show you this.
With people that are just, like, fans of my content, I'm able to do that so much better than with streamers.
I guess the I should not stream on incognito in private browser on Microsoft Edge. The incognito functionality of Chrome is a lot better.
That I said, I wonder if streamers aren't actually horrible people. They're not like worse people. It's just that when everything is like public, it makes everything so much weirder and like.
Well, there goes the big flourish finale.
Like private people just makes things so much better because there's not like the temptation to like use fan bases or run onto Twitter or like any crazy shit. Yeah.
I'm not on Brave. I'm on bloody Microsoft Edge. Dear me. Okay. So, that kind of wraps up the Destiny segment. Now, I can go for a lot longer if we do, like, callers. So there should be pinned to this chat calling, a method in which you can call in, and we can discuss various topics beyond Destiny. We can perhaps discuss what you'd like to see going forward. But at the moment, I am in despair. I have lost the flourish to this entire show simply because this stupid, private, incognito browser will not let me load up my Twitter. And look, I don't know my passwords from memory. I'm literally that retired. So, what need we do? I'll give you like a few minutes to get together. I'm gonna get a water. And hopefully we can make something of this. Beyond just like headline freak show shit like Destiny's grandma eats dogs and pisses on the floor. And Destiny scams, the government and I guess the IRS out of money by falsely allowing his baby mama to claim Medicaid. So, 5 minutes, I guess. No dog baby. 2007. Yeah. Someone says I should have written down the Twitter war with a pen. Like a boomer. You know what? Sometimes I feel like the old pen and paper trick is the only reliable trick in the book. Maybe I should have got a fucking pen and paper and written out the 50 tweets that were exchanged between Destiny and Gator over this VTubing tranny Medica's chosen. Maybe that's the only reliable way that I can actually deliver a fucking finale to a show. What the fuck? I hate technology. I hate it all. Let's go back to Kino Dogme 1845. Bring back the fucking quills. Person transcribe the tweets with a fucking quill and an inkwell. On the parchment, let's do this. The Luddite King. Fix cam! The cam is fixed, bro. It's not been broken. Look. Look at this. Look at this camera. This is the stream. This is what it shows me, bro. I have not been in a different aspect ratio at all. I have been landscape. Look. There I am. in a 16:9 aspect ratio, I guess. Look at that. Look at that. Fix cam. Fix cam. Alright, so I feel it best now to actually see if we've got any callers.
Gel. Just flip it, pop it, and squeeze it. Good squeeze. And just put it straight in the drum. Whack that temperature right down. For outstanding stain removal and incredible freshness from as low as 15 degrees. Aerial gel. Brilliant.
They're all unskippable.
Get a dentist clean feeling in the palm of your hand. Oral BIO. Brush like a pro.
Okay. We've got no callers. Now, someone once told me that my actual friend requests are actually turned off. But I don't know how to fix that. And I refuse to learn how. So, if the conceit of this show, of every call-in show, is that we ask people to call in, but bizarrely the Discord settings are so fucked that no one can actually add me as a friend to call in, then so be it. That be it. That be the way it is done. The advert heard about Destiny's Granny. For real. Alright. I feel this show has no life left in it. We can react to Jim Sterling if you want. Shall we react to a Jim Sterling video, a Jimquisition? 1 for yes, 2 for let's end this now. Because that's all I have really left. I was counting on the sector to speak and allow some sort of flowing conversation. Can't let the Kinodrome die. It's already fucking dead. No one wants to come on and scream at each other anymore. No one wants to do that anymore. Use Skype. The only ones that were willing to do that are now so fucking old and dead that they're on Skype. I don't know how to call, and I don't want to learn how. Use LinkedIn, yeah. Call into my show via your LinkedIn. Let's do this. All right. Who have we got here? All right. Hey now. Hey now.
Hello, sir.
Oh, I can't even hear you. 1 second.
These tweets? What do you want me to do?
Can you see the tweets?
If you send them to me, I could see them.
Well, they're on my Twitter, but I can't log into my Twitter. So.
Yeah, but you could link it to me. Can't you link the tweets to me? No.
So the Twitter account is on the phone I'm streaming from. Does this make sense?
Right, well, just get your laptop.
The laptop is here, bro. And it's not signed into the Twitter. So,
all right.
That is the technical issue with which I am beset by. People are saying Godwinson fish tank coverage. I know nothing of this. I guess it's heating up? Is there been some heating up with the fish tank person?
Unfortunately, I don't watch the damn fish tank.
No one watches it, do they?
Following this political stuff. Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, I'm saving all of my political stuff for a big stream later on, so I didn't want to blow the load on that. So that's what this Destiny filler stream is.
Do you think this is the the origin story? I didn't realize Destiny was this much of, like, white trash.
Well, he's not white, is he? He's
Kinda
Cuban.
eye-opening.
I think he's Cuban. He's like a half-bleed.
He's Cuban.
I think so. I think he's like a...
Is that why he's a midget?
I think so. I mean, Destiny, when I look at Destiny, I know he's not white. But he's had a real trash upbringing. What do you reckon to the grandma killing dogs with her teeth?
You think that could possibly be true? That the grandmother had such a strong... She was literally biting the dogs?
He describes it with such visceral detail and such recounting. You know, he's shaking as he recounts it. It's got to be true, right?
I guess so. I mean, why would you lie about something like that? That's a hell of a thing to make up. I mean, some things are too strange to make up off the bat, that your grandmother ate a dog.
And he regrets not dealing the drugs that he threw out in the pillowcases. Thoughts?
That's hilarious. That he doesn't think, you know, it would be wrong to sell the drugs now. He'd sell them to... Who was the guy you said he'd sell them to? Some drug addict?
The Black Friend, I think. The Black Friend.
The Black Friend who was a drug addict.
Yeah.
He's very sad he didn't sell the drugs.
That's where we're at.
Sounds like Destiny.
I mean, and then for him to describe himself as not a nihilist now, and that he was nihilistic back then, as he ruefully regrets not dealing the drugs and diving into the dumpster even further, which he did admit to, by the way, and fishing out the drugs and going up for a harder search to deal those drugs. Is that nihilistic behaviour now, to ruefully regret that?
I would say so. If you wish that you sold drugs that you found when you were 16. How old is Destiny? He's like almost 40.
Yeah.
That's more than nihilism. I don't know what that is exactly.
If you're looking at Destiny's current mental state and sort of where he's at, is this a man that's going to top himself soon, per se?
It's coming off that way, that he's going to, like, buy a gun. Well, we know he already has
There's a gun mounted on the fucking wall, per se. And if he doesn't do it, the kid will, from the looks of it.
It's looking pretty precarious with this Destiny situation. I don't know. He's completely out of his mind, calling for the killings of people. You know, completely losing his mind about Trump. I don't know what his take is on this Kamala entrance. Is he big simping for Kamala?
Well, the weird thing with Destiny is that no one is ideologically aligned to what he bizarrely schizophrenically thinks. So everyone that doesn't agree with everything that he says in the bizarre way that he says it is instantly discounted as... I don't think he even counts Kamala as like a real leftist or someone to vote for, right? I guess.
Yeah, she's AI.
Yeah, she might as well be. He wishes death on anyone that doesn't agree with his minutiae of political takes, I think, is the real take on Destiny.
I thought his problem was that everybody else lacked empathy.
Now, pertinent...
Wasn't that his big take?
Pertinent chat has arisen in the chat here, per se. Where's my $200, you piece of shit? Where's my $400? Have you paid him his money yet? Have you paid him the $20, person?
No. Ralph is not getting
What a fucking Jew! Look at this welching deadbeat motherfucker. Won't even pay him his $20. Then he is... Ralph has...
bring this up.
Ralph
you don't even know. You didn't even listen to this. You don't even know what the bet was.
The bet was lost by you. That's all I need to know. Ralph did a stream.
Until the nominee is picked.
Ralph did a stream where he proudly declared himself winner of this $20 bet. He demanded the $20.
He didn't win yet.
This is so ungentlemanly.
The bet was, listen, this is the bet. Who is going to be the Democratic nominee?
Kamala Harris. That Ralph said. Ralph said Kamala Harris. Is Kamala Harris not the Democratic nominee?
Well, Ralph said, first of all, Ralph said that Biden wasn't even going to step down because it looked really
Ralph
bad.
said Biden would step down on Sunday. He predicted it to the timestamp.
I did. You're saying Ralph predicted it now?
Ralph said on his stream that he did so.
Let's hear this. Let's hear it. That's bullshit. You can even see in the comments under that Twitter space that people are saying Biden's not going to step down.
Why? Question.
You're agreeing with Ralph.
Real question. Why is the $20 so precious to you, person?
It's not precious to me. He just hasn't won the bet yet. We bet on who would be the nominee. It hasn't even happened yet. The DNC hasn't even happened yet.
The bet was lost, person. And from what I heard on Ralph's show, that the amount now will go up by $20 for every hour that you don't pay.
It's not going up any. We made a gentleman's bet $20. That's what it is.
Ralph said that you reneged on that bet.
Now, you know, Kamala has a good chance. She also has a good chance of being completely washed out. We're very, very... I mean, what just happened?
We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. I'm going to be president.
We did it,
Can you imagine Can you imagine people actually vote for that crazy bitch to be president? Shouldn't even know where she is. She's more demented than Joe.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to save my Kamala takes for that stream I'm going to do, but I don't know. I think at the moment, they're raising lots of money, person. She's a historic candidate, person.
Yeah, she's going to get caught in voter fraud because she can't even be raising the money. She's not an official candidate. They haven't even switched it over. How could she accept $84 million when she's not even registered for donations for a presidential campaign?
The time is right, person. It's her turn, person.
It's her turn.
I
Plus
mean,
that $81 million, I mean, nobody even knows where it came from or where it went. I don't think...
I guess
Kamala's
people are
got
saying it's
$81
coming
million.
from Steve Jobs' widow that she's best friends with. Have you heard this take?
Yes, I have heard this take that she's best friends with Steve Jobs' widow.
So I guess the money came
Also
from...
at all kinds of Diddy parties, and I know she was the side piece for Montel Williams for a while there.
Well, I guess her
I'm
womb
sure
is polluted
Kamala's
as
got
well
all
because she's
kinds of-
childless. What's the take? I mean, I find it wild, and maybe this is just me clutching my pearls, but I find it wild that you've got, you know, a woman with... I guess we could say she has more of a viable chance than Hillary did. A woman running for president is childless.
Maybe Hillary. It is kind of strange that she's married and she's childless, yes. She's a cat lady.
She is a cat lady.
The drunken cat lady is running for president.
Someone says Brown Hall
And it
for
looks
president.
like she's been endorsed by the president of the United States to run. It's kind of insane, isn't it?
How many abortions do you reckon she's had, person?
Oh, God. Maybe
You put-
Montel knows.
You put a number on it. I'm gonna be conservative and say 20. I want to say 20.
You want to say she had 20 abortions?
I think that's quite conservative, you know.
You think that's conservative? I'm going to go in the realm of 5 to 10, between 5 and 10.
5 and 10. I'll ask the
That's a
audience
lot of
how many
abortions. In my mind, that's a
abortions they want to
tremendous amount of
speculate.
abortion.
I mean, I don't think 20's beyond, you know, I don't think it's beyond. But yeah, I don't see America voting for a childless whore, unfortunately. But maybe they will.
I don't think anybody's going to vote for Kamala. I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on right now, and none of it's really working out. And I think there is a strong possibility that Kamala will be immediately dropped into the pit, just like they dropped Bo and they
What, before the election?
Well, look at what they did to Biden. They held a gun to his head, made him drop out of the race.
Yeah, but
And then said, "Oh, you're so
Biden
brave,
clung on
Joe."
till the very end. I mean,
The
well
very
past the
end.
end, you know.
But they're trying to say, oh, he believes he's such a patriot. It's amazing that he waited until 2 weeks before the DNC to drop out of the race. What a hero.
I read a really great take that it was all by design, this. It was just purely secure Kamala as the nominee because she wouldn't be popular running in a primary. So they allowed this Biden charade to continue long past the point that it was acceptable, just to get people to clamour for an alternate candidate so that they could then coronate Kamala. What's the take on that? Because I thought it was quite an interesting take. I read that in The Atlantic.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's exactly what they were doing.
So you think it was all by design? Because part of me thinks, like, holy shit, if this is by design, what the fuck? We are really being ran by a smoking man X-Files government.
Yes, well, it was all by design, clearly. I mean, clearly they didn't want anyone else to have a shot in hell to run against Biden and pull any kind of delegate. So, yeah, I think he held on to the last second, so they couldn't do any kind of recount or revote. You know, they still could, but how would they do that in 50 states in the span of 2 weeks? It would be almost impossible. So, yeah, I think that was the main reason for that.
No, obviously a lot of Republicans are trying to get Biden out of office now that he said that he's not fit for president. Do you think that's wise to allow Kamala to have 3 months of presidency?
No, I think that's a major mistake. I think they should just let sitting dogs lie and not say anything. Let the Democratic Party implode on itself. You don't have to call for the president to... It's not necessary. It's going to take a lot of focus off of how retarded they are. Just let it go. I mean, there's nothing that we could do. What do you want? Kamala to be president for 3-4 months?
Is there any path to her winning this election that you can see?
No. Not so far.
What if they try again at killing Trump? Would that do it? Because I'll give you my take on it. I mean, because I like to, war game the impossible. Part of me thinks that they could try and just kill off Joe and allow that, I spoke to you about this the other night, and allow that feeling for, oh God, the president's died, he was such an old dog, and what a great career I guess he had, and all of this, and then she is like bled, and on his deathbed he says the word "vote Kamala," and I guess that would carry her to victory. Would that work? I mean, part of me thinks that would be our strongest hope.
I think people would be incredibly offended by that. This is a White House that has said the president is perfectly fit. Okay. Say the president is...
But my take on that, person, just to jump in...
great president.
My take on that, person, just to jump in, is that, he got COVID. He died. So I'm, in my first term, going to force mandatory vaccinations because it killed our president.
Yeah, Hillary gave him COVID in the middle of July. And it mysteriously killed him. COVID in July.
So therefore, we need to bring COVID back and vaccinate everyone in my first 100 days. But I don't know. I mean, if I'm an evil fuck, cigarette smoking man in the X-File shadows, I'm trying to war game a way that Kamala can win. That to me looks like the strongest way if they just kill off Biden. But I don't know. Other ways that she could do it.
A lot of people, yeah.
Well, I was thinking other ways that she could do it is if she just doubles down on being black, chooses whatever race she's mixed with, and just doubles down on being one of them, and she just, smokes her way to the White House. And stuff like
say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and just doubles down on all of the Beyonce walkouts and stuff like that. Maybe if she does a press conference with Oprah, Michelle, and Beyonce flanked around her. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of ways that she could possibly...
Michelle will not appear with any of these people, which is interesting to me, really.
I don't think I've ever seen Michelle with Kamala. Have you?
No.
Does she just hate them all? Does she just hate anyone associated with Biden at this point?
I think she does. I think Michelle and Barry... Both of them, I think they don't like the Bidens, and I think they can't stand Harris either. You would think so. I mean, that Harris is a prosecutor that would, give people life sentences for, minor possession, like having a joint. Because she was enforcing the 3 strikes law in California. And they had so many prisoners under Kamala Harris that they were literally converting, high school gyms into jails.
Well, this was the problem with the primary in 2020, wasn't it, the DNC primary? The fact is that she was actually way more right-wing than all of the candidates there, and that's why she ended the candidacy in debt.
Yeah, well, that's why she had to spend almost all of her own money. She almost bankrupted herself trying to run the race, which is wild for somebody they say can raise a lot of money. She could raise a lot of money, but she went broke within, 3 months?
Yeah. The fact is, I think her candidacy, it started really strong media-wise, but really fucking died a death. Like, died a death to a point that I didn't... She was completely a no-hoper until he lifted her out and made her VP. Purely on a DEI hire.
Because she was a black, she was a black woman and it looked really good. And he needed to shore up that voting base because he didn't look good. Otherwise, he wasn't appealing to women and, really far left people. But do you believe the conspiracy theory that Joe Biden is actually dead?
I think he's dead. I think he's been dead for like 2 weeks now. And all of these... We've seen like body doubles ascend plane steps. We've seen those body doubles ascend the steps of an airplane. We've heard the calls that don't quite sound like him at all. They literally do sound like Brian-esque AI. I don't know. I think he's been dead for about a fortnight.
Did you like the AI call into her press conference accepting the presidential nomination and endorsement?
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid.
He's watching from the clouds, bro.
Yeah.
He's watching from the clouds.
I mean, this is where I'm trying to say, if we war game this and you think about... Because the way I see this election is a full-on landslide for Trump. It can only be, right? Yeah. Since that attempted assassination, it can only be a landslide for Trump. However, there has to be some sort of possibility that they will fix it for her to win, like they did last time with Joe. And I want to see how they do it. It will be amazing.
How are they going to... I don't know how they would possibly be able to do it this time. The 2020 election was actually very, very close. I mean, nobody wanted to elect either of them, really. So it was who had the most diehard political allies at that time.
But do you genuinely think this election will be won? So, for example, 2020, didn't 80 million people vote for Biden and a similar number vote for Trump? Like, are we seriously going to expect this year for 80 million people to vote for Kamala and like 90 million people to vote for Trump? I don't think 80 million people will vote for Kamala unless they rig it.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. I don't think Kamala can win. I just don't see how they think. I mean, her approval ratings are lower than Biden's. Even though Biden can barely speak, her approval ratings are lower. So I don't think that they could possibly win. I think that Trump basically has this wrapped up. He's just got to be quiet.
Okay.
I think their hope now is to ensnare Trump.
But do you think they'll try and rig it again? Because part of me thinks if it's a complete no hope, they'll just rig it like they did with Biden. Now, if they do rig it, what will happen?
I don't agree with they rigged it. It was. They got the advantage.
Bro, I think they rigged it purely on the numbers. I mean, 80 million people voted for Biden. Like, I don't think that happened. It was more presidential. It was more votes, bro. It was more votes than any candidate in history by a great many million. Right? I think it was more votes ever in history.
Yes, it was the highest election turnout in history. Yeah.
Like, I don't...
Why are you weirded out about... I'm not weirded out about that. It was during the height of COVID. Nobody had anything to do but worry about, filling in a mail-in ballot or all this stupid bullshit.
But I don't think that... I mean, it's not like Australia where you have compulsory mandatory voting where you're forced to do it. Like, it was still a choice, and I think the vast majority of people... I've seen people say they didn't vote. But for those numbers to work, you'd have to have, like... I guess 1 in 5 voting, probably more. I don't think 1 in 5 people voted. I mean, our election that we've just had was won on a landslide, right? And it had a voter turnout of 20% of the population.
It was about 1 in 3. We have about 350 million people, so it's about 1 in 3.
You think 1 in 3 people voted? I genuinely don't think that's in any way, shape, or form correct. 1 in 3 people voted?
It's kind of wild, isn't it?
Yeah,
but that's what happens when you have mail-in ballots and stuff going around. I mean, they literally got every single nursing home down pat for that election. I don't think they're going to have any luck this year because I don't think they've had the money to do that kind of campaigning where they could go to every nursing home and get them to fill in these mail-in ballots. that was a uniquely COVID thing.
So I've just Googled here, mail-in, or I've binged, unfortunately. Mail-in vote for 2020 election. It was 76% of Americans were eligible for the mail-in vote, a record number.
Yes.
80 million ballots could be cast by mail, but what was the actual number? What was the actual number here? Does it actually break it down? If I go postal voting 2020, let's see what the actual number is.
Joe Biden got about 81 million votes.
But by post is what I want to figure out the actual postal vote.
All right.
So let's see. There's lots of obscure stuff around this. So is there any actual numbers? There's no numbers here. It's just...
I don't know if they've ever verified what the numbers were.
Okay. This is awfully strange. I want the numbers here of the postal votes.
Yeah, well, everybody does.
See, this is why it's never rang true to me, because you can't... I mean, any other election, you can kind of... I'll put USA. See if that does it. Numbers. Okay, election by the numbers. Let's try this. Okay, I'm seeing nothing here. Popular vote. Okay, so we won by 81 million votes. 51% of the votes cast, right? How bizarre. But does it break down how those were voting? So 67% of the population kind of voted.
I'm getting stuff on the primaries,
but nothing on the actual breakdown of how these votes were cast, right?
No. I'm kind of curious why that is myself.
Because I know we can read quite literally. Hang on, I'll type in the... So UK general election 2024. They typically put it on the government website of what the elections will be. So if I look here, we can see the results from the House of Commons library. Put on here, we can download the full report, I guess, and we can see how people voted and the method in which they did so. And it pretty much gives you a full breakdown of what the votes were and how they were. So the turnout was 60%, I guess, down from 67%. And it literally does tell you the votes, and I think it breaks down those votes as well. So, not many votes in this, 9 million votes won this as a landslide for Labour, which is so bizarre, right? I'm looking for where it says mail-in ballots.
Wow, it's a much more honest system. Look at that.
But it does break it all down. Please show me a report for the 2020 election, and I will believe that, it wasn't rigged. But this looks pretty comprehensive to me. And this goes on and on and on and on and on by every constituency, by every district. It just goes on and on and on. I have not seen that, unfortunately, for the 2020 election at all. So I do think it was rigged.
Well, see, you've made the case. I agree with you that I can't find anything myself. I'm sure there is got to be something.
And bear in mind, our election was like 2 weeks ago. So they already have published all of the stuff. And I think that was published the day after, actually.
Well, the UK is the size of one state, though.
Yeah.
It's much harder when you have 50 gigantic states to consolidate all this information.
But you'd think 4 years would be enough time, right, to get all of the data together.
I agree with you. I can't find any data. We'll have to go back to that because... Let's see. I'm checking the official...
I mean, I can continue looking and we can try and find the results of this election properly broken down, but I don't think they exist. 2020 electoral college votes, you can have those, but no actual general election votes.
or how they were voted.
Yeah, the primary votes are available. They probably didn't differentiate.
They didn't differentiate.
The mail-in ballots.
Now, every election breakdown that I have ever seen breaks down the postal vote because it's so small, right, that they can break it down.
Yeah. It says that 20% of all voters.
So 20% of all voters in this election, in the 2020 election, actually voted by post.
That's what it's saying.
So 20% of them. But it was the highest turnout in history, and 80% of the electorate turned out. But 20% of that turnout was postal votes.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, isn't it?
Well, it's wild because it doesn't tally with the fact that 1 in 3 people voted even.
And it was actually more than that because it's 152 million people voted.
Yeah, if you add up the 80 and then the 70 that voted for Trump, yeah.
Let's see, 152 divided by 350.
So here's where I'm going with the wargaming here. I kind of see a similar situation happening where they just blatantly lie to us and say that 80 million people voted for Kamala and 79.99999 people voted for Trump. I kind of see that situation happening again because they've done it before and it worked. And all they had to do was just say, you're an election denier without publishing any of the statistics.
43. So it says about 43% of the population came out to vote. That's very, very, very high for the United States.
43% of the population turned out.
Yeah, according to the statistics. Yeah.
Okay. Again,
so
that's astoundingly high.
Yeah, that is astoundingly high.
But it's how they turned out to vote. Did they actually? Well, 20% of them filled in a mail-in ballot. So we're supposed to believe that the other, other 23% actually went out.
That was just a projection.
Voted
That's
on
not
the day.
official. That's not even official. So,
it's activating my
how do you count? I suppose they would count those votes by verifying the identities of the people who were registered, but the whole thing is strange. I'll agree with you. I don't know I would know if I would say it was rigged as much as it was rigged in a way where the Republicans could possibly win in a mail-in ballot kind of thing. Because you had a lot more mail-in ballots coming from Dems than Republicans in contested areas. So, I don't know if in this election, Trump is so popular in this election and his base is so solid.
Yes.
I'd say... I don't know. I'd say Trump has locked down about a third.
If they wargame this, though, and they try... So let's say you're running Kamala's campaign. You've got 3 months really to get anything going. You're probably going to push for a series of debates with Trump, right? Let's do them every week or some bullshit. And in those debates, you're going to have some super sassy meme moments where you, walk out to Beyonce. You probably even quote Beyonce lyrics, right? And you try and get some sort of engagement, some sort of thing going. Do you think that might do it? That might... Because what's going to happen, for real, is that they are going to come out and say that Kamala got 80 million votes in this election. They're going to rig it all ways to Sunday.
That's wild.
And they're going to try and hang that rigged election on things. And I think they could do it by these debates, right?
You think Kamala's going to win debates?
I don't think she'll win them. I don't think she'll win them at all. But I think she'll say things in them.
Don't you think they're going to be an embarrassing mess?
I think she'll say things in them with Oprah and Michelle in the front row that will give them something to hang shit on. Don't forget with the Biden debates, they hung on the come on man shit, the shut up man shit. They hung on that, didn't they?
Yeah.
To try and justify the 80 million win.
They did, I suppose. Not really in American broadcasting, but certainly on the BBC, that's what they would put out there.
Well, in American broadcasting, yes, because they still do it now. You know, they claim that Biden won all of those
Trump
debates,
does.
right? The media claim that Biden won those debates.
Of course. They also claim that Biden is the greatest president to ever live.
I know, right? So this is what I'm trying to say.
They say he's better than. They said he's a better president than FDR, better president than LBJ.
He's just been
One of the greatest-
assassinated like JFK. Don't forget. That's what they've been saying.
Yeah, he's been. Yeah,
He's made the ultimate sacrifice.
Is stepping down with JFK.
Yes.
The ultimate sacrifice. So, I don't know. These people are incredibly delusional. The problem is how many other people are as incredibly delusional as that. And I think it's less than the Republican side.
So, if for example, they do rig this election and we end up in just like a complete, like, I can't believe this just happened again scenario, like we saw it happen with Biden, will it be civil war?
I hope not. That's a tough question. There probably will be civil unrest. Of course, the Democrat, everybody's pointing fingers at each other, as you know. Netanyahu just spoke at the White House, and there are people literally burning stuff down in the front of the building, and they will not cover it.
Yes.
They say it's
well,
peaceful.
just before I came on air, the Jean-Pierre White House press secretary was talking about the riot and was saying, I will not comment on this riot that we can clearly hear through the walls.
Yes, they're trying to break into senator and congressmen's rooms and stuff, but this is not a big deal. This is peaceful. It's
Peaceful
very
process.
rioting.
It's not an insurrection, it's a
Comparison
peaceful
to
process.
January 6th. It's not anything like January 6th. These people burning stuff in front of the White House and saying they want to kill Congress and go in there and try to attack congressmen and senators or anything. This has nothing to do with that. They won't comment on it.
But, our conversation the other night, we were talking about like a deep state element and all of the different signs that point to that. And certainly with them trying to take out Trump, certainly with that, House Representative Committee trying to grill, and I guess leading to the resignation of that head of the Secret Service and stuff like this. Is it not beyond them to just try and steal this election so blatantly and so falsely that it will happen?
Well, I think they already tried. I think it's clear from Cheadle going before, the House and just basically refusing to answer any question, even questions that she had answered on live television.
In the ABC interview, she would not answer those questions. But she would in the ABC interview, immediately after the fact.
Yeah, she would in the ABC interview, but she wouldn't do it. Just refused. The absolute stonewalling of information. Do you know anything about what's going on? No, I do not. I don't know anything. Were you supposed to go to a gala during the RNC? What'd she say? She goes, yes, I was scheduled to go to a gala, but I didn't actually go. It's like, what? So during your most important, probably your one most important jobs of the year, you were going to go to a gala fundraiser in the middle of it? I mean, it's just crazy what's going on.
The shooter, a lot of information about the shooter has come out. I guess they've tried to scrub his online presence and stuff like that, but it turns out that he had this Gab account. Now, I've been reading some of the posts, and it does seem to be that, he shills Biden, but also shits on Biden quite a bit.
Yes, he seemed to be a Destiny type.
Yes,
for sure. If I had to identify him, he seemed to be a Destiny type, where he was very far left and believed that the country was going to be destroyed under Trump and that he was Hitler, but also that Biden was not being gentle enough to the Israelis and things like that.
Yeah. So
just,
So they can't really spin it either way, can they? This guy is more like a, the guy that shot Reagan over Jodie Foster. I think that's where we're at with this guy.
Well, that's how they're going to try to frame it, but I think we have somebody that was very steeped in anti-Trump kind of frenzy.
But I
mean,
think
why
I
else
think if
would
he
he
was
go
attending
to
a Biden rally,
rally?
he'd have shot Biden in the head for being like a genocidal dictator.
Well, I
killing the
think that's what they
Israelis.
want you to believe. Yeah, you notice they haven't said anything. It's been 10 days. They've not said a word about anything about this kid. How he got any of these weapons, what he was doing, how he planned this out. I mean, nothing. 10 days. They've had his phone. They've been through all of his stuff. I think this is rife for cover-up. For all we know, this kid was a tranny. He looked like a tranny. For all we know, he was a tranny.
I mean,
but they don't want anybody to know.
But they allowed him every chance to do it, to actually take the shot. I mean, it's by a literal act of God that shot didn't land.
To be stopped, right?
Yeah, he was begging to be stopped. He flew a drone over it. Everyone knew where he was. Everyone was pointing to him. They had to call a hotline if they wanted to report it, even though they were pointing to him.
Yeah.
You know, they knew who he was.
Local police, call a hotline. Call this number.
Call this number. And report it. Even though we can see him, or even though we can talk directly to you.
You can see him. He's climbing up onto a roof. You notice the Secret Service just ignoring him.
The Secret Service lined up that shot for him to take so perfectly, so brilliantly, that it literally is God's intervention that shot didn't land.
You think they just took his hand and walked him over to the building? He said, just climb up there.
They dropped him off.
We'll shoot you after you shoot at the president.
That was basically what happened, wasn't it? But like I say, by some act of God, it just didn't land.
Clearly see the kid before he shot. Can clearly, I mean, there were people at least a minute before screaming he had a gun. You could see the snipers are both positioned in his directions, looking through the fucking scope.
Yes.
And then, as soon as he shot, they got back to their guns and shot him. I mean, it felt. Now that one really did feel pretty set up, especially with how they. I mean, they didn't even secure the area. It was in the middle of an open field. They didn't cover any of the areas where you could shoot down at the president.
But I think they just gave him the biggest helping hand they could possibly have given a potential assassin of Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, think of the luck that is involved here. I mean, if Trump hadn't turned his head, he'd be dead.
Is it luck or is it divine intervention, person?
Divine intervention. Probably both. If I were to guess, it's probably a bit of both. I don't think Trump should be worshipped like the God Emperor, like some of the Republicans are doing on Fox News. I mean, they're literally venerating him as like this godlike figure.
Well, I mean, it's hard not to, especially when you see shit like with your eyes, like happened that Sunday 2 weeks ago. It's hard not to go, okay, maybe God is on this man's side. Maybe there is something to this.
Well, I was hoping at the RNC they would fly him in the arms of Jesus Christ, and they'd fly him into the stage before he gave the speech. That would have really made it.
I was expecting, sort of winged cherubs with harps to lower him down on strings.
Yeah. I mean, did you see the entrance Melania got?
Yes, yeah.
Like she was the queen.
I don't know. My favourite one was the Hulk Hogan one. That was a great moment. He rips off the shirt.
The Hulk was great. Yes, Hulk Hogan was great.
Kid Rock wasn't too bad either, you know.
No, he wasn't too bad. It was just kind of surprising when he popped out. You're like, where the fuck did this guy come from?
I was kind of hoping we'd see the My Pillow guy, though, but he wasn't there. He didn't do anything, did he?
I used to be a crackhead. Now I'm a millionaire. You can be too.
What a great book.
He found Christ.
Someone says there were like 8 shots before they took him down. That's right. You know, they allowed him 8 chances, even when he'd missed, to keep going before they actually shot him down.
8 shots.
I mean, they definitely had the sights on him as he was shooting, but they allowed him 8 goes.
Wow. We'll see what happens with that, man.
What do you think could possibly happen? Like, what could they? How could they? I mean, because at the moment they're just not explaining it, and I think that's what they're trying to do as the cover up, just to not explain it.
Well, they literally had Cheadle come out to dispel any rumors of conspiracy by not answering any questions. What do you think they're trying to do? Of course they want to fuel conspiracy. It's a great cover. and it's a great distraction.
But the conspiracy purely points to the Secret Service setting it up, doesn't it? The conspiracy points to the truth.
Well, it really points to DHS setting it up by not granting extra actual, because I guess at DHS, Department of Homeland Security, has been in charge and been doing most of the decision making.
And been denying a lot of Trump's requests for extra Secret Service, right?
Yeah, and they've been giving him DHS agents who, as we saw, look like Melissa McCarthy. So what do you think the plan was there? I mean...
But bizarrely, I mean, I was looking at this. You know, throughout RFK's campaign, they have not been giving him Secret Service at all. He's been begging for it in all of these speeches he's been doing.
Yeah.
But I guess 4 days afterwards, after this attempted assassination, they've finally given him some Secret Service. And from what I can see of the Secret Service, it's 4 people, and 2 of them are women. So, you know.
Well, they really care. Well, I don't know. I don't want to shit too much on the Secret Service officers the agents that were there. At least they dived into the bullets basically to make a human shield. But
why the fuck doesn't Rumble give me notifications about these streams? Holy fuck, I can't tell you. You know, I'm here on Rumble because it's the only place that doesn't allow me to fall out of sync with the audio, I guess. I guess we're in the wrong aspect.
Well, I told you, flipping that camera makes it go out of sync. I don't know why on Kick, but it does.
Is the aspect ratio still fucked, person? Because I'm looking at it here. It looks fine, but I guess it's still fine. It's strange.
Sometimes the aspect ratio gets bizarre when you flip the camera.
Okay.
I don't know if it's your camera or I don't know what that is, but clearly it doesn't like when you flip your camera.
I think what it is the front camera. Okay, behind the scene, behind the curtain here, behind the laughter. The front camera is a lot higher resolution than the other camera, and it tries to stream in the thing is set to auto, the Streamlabs, so it tries to stream in the highest possible thing, and so that throws out the sync and fucks the stream. I think that's what it is, personally.
Well, you gotta fix that.
I ain't fixing this, bro.
I know you never fix anything. You just expect it to work magically.
We pay enough for these things.
Says the one Secret Service guy. No, so the people who were in dark blue are Secret Service. Everybody that was in the dark gray suits, those were DHS agents.
Yes.
Those were not Secret Service.
They were. The Secret Service were the ones that actually did their job and dived on Trump. Took off his shoes or something.
That's all there were, yeah. The rest of the people were not Secret Service. I think they even admitted the sniper wasn't even Secret Service. They were just desperate.
They were just desperate. I think they just lined up the shot for them to take, and then...
I wouldn't be surprised if Cheadle showed up and fucking hand-walked him over to that building and go up there. We won't shoot you until you take a shot. Go ahead.
Well, it's not beyond, the realms of possibility for, a member of this deep state to be like talking to this guy on Discord going, yeah, do this. Setting it up. I'm a guy on the inside, setting it all up for him to line up there.
That would be interesting.
Maybe that's why we've not heard any of the online stuff.
Information Act on this investigation so we can find out.
But unfortunately, bizarrely, we're supposed to believe that this, 22-year-old autist that has been identified with a Gab account clearly had no other internet access because nothing's been found. All that's been found is like a BlackRock advert. We're supposed to believe that he had no internet presence at all.
Discord, interesting.
Yeah, but nothing has come out of the username or anything like that, has it? Not that I'm aware of.
No, they've been sweeping it up as quickly as possible. And then you have like Fuentes, who's a government agent. They're just spreading tons of disinformation about the guy, claiming that all different people are the shooter and all kinds of stuff. And then you see all these random things come out that aren't actually real in any way. So it is fascinating.
It did take them a week to access the phone, but didn't it just take them a week because they were wiping that phone clean before they could access it? Before they could even tell everyone?
I think so. There's no way that the FBI couldn't recover everything from that phone almost immediately. I mean, most lay people can do that pretty easily. I don't understand how the FBI couldn't.
I think they were cleaning it first.
But
that's what they were doing.
According to
if
the
you
FBI
ask me,
today,
that's exactly what was happening. You know, there was some guy on the inside, a deep throat, that was presenting themselves to this autist, juicing him up, allowed him to do everything that... They were all in on it. It was a clear shot that he could have taken. He did take it. Bizarrely, you know, an act of God intervened. Trump didn't die. It all fell apart. They all seem to be stunned that they're in this universe where it actually didn't work. That's why you're seeing conferences like that the head of the Secret Service gave, where she had to resign afterwards. That's why you're seeing all of this. That's why you're seeing this desperate bid for Joe to die and Kamala to ascend. That's why you're seeing all this desperation now, because they had it all lined up, and bizarrely it just didn't work.
You think that's why Hillary has made very few public appearances, because she's so angry that her assassination attempt didn't work?
Well, you know, Hillary was rubbing herself out to this one months and months in advance, so she was writing the script. She was rubbing one out to this.
Imagine how many people she killed for fucking this up.
Yeah.
I imagine all of these people that were involved in this are going to mysteriously die like every other Clinton employee. One day, you know, we're going to see in the news, he beat himself to death in an apparent suicide, you know, in a building someplace. And that's when you'll know the Clintons. That's when you know they're a Clinton employee.
I think we'll read about the Melissa McCarthy Secret Service agent, you know, shooting herself in the back of the head and being found in a abandoned car.
Yeah. Being stripped naked and being bruised and getting shot in the back of the head.
Yeah.
It was in an apparent suicide.
Apparent suicide.
You can't investigate it.
She was clearly depressed and had a drinking problem. And
yeah, she clearly had a drinking problem. You think when somebody brings up something interesting, you think when Trump becomes president, we'll hear more about Gonzo?
No.
Do you think Trump will acknowledge Gonzo?
No, I mean, I guess Putin's acknowledged Gonzo, but that's the only acknowledgement he's going to get. I don't even think Gonzo's dead, right? I think he's alive and kicking. I think I saw him. I think I saw him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
In an elevator there. I think I saw him walking about. I think it's real.
It was it might have been. It looked like a dead ringer, honestly, but you know, Gonzo made himself look like that so he could be like a chameleon and slip in and out of every country on the planet, leaving illegitimates behind.
I don't think Gonzo's dead. I mean, the fact that they haven't even done a funeral, I guess, and there's no grave, and there's no documentation around the death at all. There's just, I guess, a Fox News article, Gonzo's dad confirming he's dead, right? Which I don't take the word of anything.
That looks exactly like an older Gonzo.
And then Putin reacting to those two sources and saying, for political gain, by saying, you know, they're executing American journalists.
The Ukrainian government did acknowledge he's dead, though.
But I have yet to see anyone trustworthy actually show me a corpse. You know, I want to see Coach's head, you know, whether it be on a spike or being kicked around like a football. I need to see that head. That's all I need to see. Then I'll believe it.
You need to see the head.
I need to see the head. Bring me the head of Gonzalo Lira.
Wow. We might have to plan like a trip to Ukraine to try to find this head.
All right. So our one subscriber that has a trophy next to his name and a little red thing says, Persip, where's the Finders stream you 100% absolutely promised your viewers? Would be great to do with this assassination
arc. Finder stuff. Yeah, it would be good, but it's so dark, the Finder stuff. The biggest problem with our content right now, Godwinson, is everything's so damn dark and depressing.
Don't I feel it? Don't I feel it, you know? Even when we try and do the filler shows to make things lighter, you know, the dog eating grandma and all this shit, it's flanked by the wacky...
I know, right? Is that really light content?
You know, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. It's flanked by, you know... It's flanked by grown men faking they've got cancer for years. It's flanked by internet lawyers doing coke off their children's heads.
How do you feel about that? Yeah, let's talk about that. Boogie.
I thought we weren't doing darkness, bro. Well, Boogie's cancer.
Let's just talk about it.
Boogie's cancer is what it's always been, a blatant attempt to grift. But that was A-OK for years because everyone else was doing it, Jim. But I guess that Jim has decided to be the moral arbiter on who has cancer and who doesn't, as he has been dying from cancer for 10 years.
Who could grift off cancer for 6 years? Yeah.
I'm the real...
Remember when it was tuberculosis from a Somali refugee? He caught tuberculosis. Wasn't that the first time he was dying and needed a lot of money because he was totally going to be
Well,
dead?
looking at the medical records, if you cast your mind back, Percy, this guy has been... The only long-term diagnosed illness that the guy has is like mental illness. He has like an anxiety that he has to be prescribed medication for and antidepressants
He is
for.
on a high go.
That was diagnosed in 2008 from my memory, but it could be earlier than that. So that's the longer term illness. And I think a lot of the other illnesses stem from the mental illness that he was confirmed diagnosed with and prescribed medication for.
You can't explain any of these symptoms. First of all, B-cell lymphoma doesn't cause you to have heart attacks. Doesn't cause your bones to disintegrate into dust.
What about a floating eyeball? Does it cause the eyeball to float out of your head and fly around the room?
Doesn't cause temporary paralysis or muscle weakness. It doesn't really make any sense. None of the drugs that he was taking are really all that consistent with that diagnosis. I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. I think Jim's house is on either like a toxic waste disposal that was buried under his house, or there's like some kind of nuclear fallout that's in his house.
But could it not just be the case that the guy has a chronic hypochondria fueled by his existing mental illnesses, where he manifests physical illness, and it has the ability and the funds to go to various doctors who keep telling him no, by the way, after various diagnoses and various tests that they do on him, past the point of like 2 of them. He goes on and on and on, gets them to do the test, then makes out that because they've done the test, therefore he has that illness. When they say no, they can't actually figure it out. He'll go to another doctor, and we've actually seen on his medical records that he's toured the United States of America, going to various doctors for second, third, fourth opinions.
And if he was as sick as he says he is, my major qualm with what he's saying is if he's as sick as he says he is, he should have already been accepted onto this unknown,
Well, he wrote to them himself. He wasn't referred to by a doctor, this Foundation of Unknown Diseases. He wrote to them himself saying, please test me, because I've been tested by 50 doctors and they've said nothing's wrong with me.
Yeah, and I mean, all of these other doctors aren't referring him out. That's very strange to me.
One doctor doesn't refer him to another doctor. He seems to take the action himself to refer himself. So, I mean, that's not even conjecture. That's literally what's written in black and white in those medical records.
Yeah. It's true.
Now, maybe it's just my experience in this country, but I know for a fact if I had an illness and the doctor that has diagnosed me with that illness couldn't treat it, they'd refer me to another doctor that could. And I wouldn't have 50 referrals all across the fucking United States of America or even England to get treated.
Did he go to infectious disease control? I can't even remember it.
Well, if you remember those medical records, every month he's tested for all of the things that he's saying he's got, and all of them come back inconclusive. I mean, they tested him for COVID about 50 times.
Yeah. The guy, there's something clearly wrong with the story. I don't know what exactly. I don't know if it's mental illness or a bit of both. I mean, has he tested his water for... I'm being serious. Has he tested his water for toxic waste? I cannot think of anything that would cause your bones to turn to dust and also cause you to have a heart attack. It doesn't make any sense.
Unless we forget that, he showed all of the...
He's constantly on death's door.
Well, he showed all of the prescriptions he was taking. He showed all of the medicines he was taking, and from my memory, there was nothing there that spoke to end-of-life medicines.
No. Like, I don't think... he might be on prednisone and stuff, I suppose it's an end-of-life medicine. But there was a lot of stuff in there that was, like, supplementary for diet reasons.
Yes.
And there would be no reason for him to be taking dietary supplements if he was on hospital.
If he was terminally ill, right.
They wouldn't be giving you dietary supplements, no.
Now, I don't think Jim has given a prognosis on how long he's got left to live, but he keeps referring to the fact that a lot of his recent streams have been constantly going on about him beyond, him being buried, him screaming in pain, him not wanting to die screaming, all of this stuff about death.
That was probably one of the best streams he's done in a long time, because I was so fascinated by it.
But his eyes are very much on the end, so do you think that, he's been given some sort of prognosis to say 5 years, 2 years, 18 months?
He keeps saying that he's going to die any day now.
Yes.
He keeps saying it for the last 4 years.
He's been saying that for 4 years. I mean, there's been various last streams where he said goodbye to everyone and bequeathed his will. And yet the man is still alive, tweeting about Ralph on Twitter.
Yeah, he's screaming about Ralph, but I don't know. I don't see any evidence. I mean, it's hard to say. We don't know what Jim has taken great lengths so nobody would ever know what he looks like, to a degree that seems almost impossible, doesn't it? How is this possible that the guy has never had a picture of himself taken?
Well, he doesn't leave the house, and when he posts images of him in the house, he's peering at it through the window. He's peering at his garden through the window and takes photos of, the garden that Jade has done through the window.
You think he's just in the bed all day?
Well, that's what he says to his audience. He says he cannot walk, he's in a wheelchair, or he's in bed, screaming in pain. That's what he says. So, I mean, it's not...
He suddenly chuckles and chain smokes on a live stream for 3-4 hours?
Yes, and spends 24/7 tweeting about Ethan Ralph, Nick Fuentes, and calling Andy Warski a king. That seems to be what he does. Now, it's not beyond the realm of possibility for men Jim's age who have been born on the internet. Let's look at Walcourts for an example, not to leave the house, to stay in their mother's basements or... their Chinese wife's basements, and play video games all day, watch anime, and do streams where they don't show their face on camera. That is like the life of every one of Jim's audience, right? It's the life of Gator. Yeah. So it's not really beyond...
Do you think he's got Munchausen's because he wants to just live like a neat and be taken care of?
I think he's but if you want my diagnosis, Jim, I think he's just mentally ill to the point where there's nothing in the medical records that actually speak to the fact that so there's nothing in the medical records that speak to him even taking part in any therapy, in any psychiatric treatment at all, even though the oldest medical condition that we're aware of is a chronic depression, anxiety that he's had to treat with antidepressants. There's nothing in there to say that he's seen a therapist, a psychiatrist, or anything like that. I think a lot of Jim's problems would probably be cured if he did that. My take.
You think a psychiatrist could cure him?
I think probably at this point it's too far gone.
What psychiatrist is that?
I think
what psychiatrist is going to cure him?
Well, maybe Dr. Bullet will. I don't know, but
Dr. Bullet.
Very effective. But do you know what I mean? I think it's both mentally ill to do this behavior, right? And I think it's mentally ill to fake it. I think either way you cut it, it's mental illness of an extreme degree. And circling it back to Boogie, obviously, he's on a high horse now saying that Boogie is scamming his audience and shilling stuff that has no meaning or no inherent value and faking cancer and ignoring his own reflection as he says that. And I find it to be sowing the seeds for something that will inevitably bite Jim on the ass when he doesn't die imminently, because it will look like he has faked cancer. Right.
Well, how does a 43... Jim is only, he's about 43 years old, I think he is?
Yes.
How does a 43-year-old survive a major heart attack? I can't make any sense of any of it. Like a normal... If you have a heart attack at 43, the chances are you're dead. I don't understand how this guy on death's door, supposedly, at 40, has a heart attack and survives it. It doesn't make any sense to me. The whole thing doesn't make any sense. I can't make any sense of it.
From the way it sounds and the way he makes out to the audience, he's literally in hospice. He's in hospice care. You know, he's literally end of life. But that end of life seems to be quite long from what I can see of it. It's been end of life for about 10 years now.
At least 10 years. At least 2. At least 2 years he's been in end of life care. It doesn't make any sense. And why is he on supplements? They don't put you on supplements in hospice care. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes 0 sense.
Now,
he sounds healthier. Every streamer does. He was certainly energized up enough to go and confront Boogie for money.
Do you think the way he'd save it is by saying he was cured of this cancer? And thanks the audience and, you know, does that? I mean, I can see that. I can see that happening any day now. I'm cured.
His whole persona is built around dying.
Well, he could do he could carry on the persona by saying, "I'm cured of this. I'm in remission," and then use the remission grift. Maybe even have a relapse where he gets the cancer again and does the other grift again and relapses into remission.
If you watch the Boogie stream, though, he says he's just doing it to raise money for Jade.
Yes.
So his wife has money.
So his wife has money because he had to throw his mum into a box because there was no money to pay for her funeral, right? Remember that one?
Yes, I do. So quite a surprising story from Jim. Jim used to be the guy who refused to talk about anything.
He should take that baby aspirin and stop the LARP, right? I mean, that's another thing. So one of the stories that Jim actually says on stream is that he's so ill, he's so untreatable, he has to be checked into a hospital because his blood pressure is so high. They check him into a hospital ward during the height of COVID. They give him one baby aspirin. He gets up out of the hospital bed, says he's cured. The doctor tells him to fuck off because he's hogged a hospital bed for COVID patients. And he goes home and goes, "Oh my God, the doctors don't know what's wrong with me. But one baby aspirin cured him."
What baby aspirin cured his eye falling out of his head?
And the super high blood pressure that he was experiencing.
He was hypertensive. Well, it would help with the hypertension. It wouldn't help with his eye dysfunctioning out of his head.
Would it? No, Perset, let's break it down. If he was that ill that they had to hospitalize him and allocate a bed for him, and he has one baby aspirin and he's fine, how ill could he possibly have been? Are these hospital beds just full of people awaiting one baby aspirin for them to walk out, skip out of the fucking hospital?
No.
There we go. You know.
I know. He's going to go to the hospital. His whole body's dysfunctioned. And the only thing he can think about is leaving the hospital and going home because he's afraid of COVID.
Yeah, he's afraid of COVID, or he's afraid of them finding out that there's nothing wrong with him, right?
It's hilarious.
Because when we looked at the medical records, we looked at the medical records, right? And what was omitted was more interesting because if you look at anyone's medical records, it will also have a sort of attendance list of hospitals, but stays in hospitals when you're having this treatment and stuff like this. Now, from what I saw, there was no extended stay in these hospitals beyond just them doing all of the scans on one day and then sending him home, right? There was no hospitalizations, there was no actual surgeries taking place that lasted longer than a day.
There was the surgery. There was some kind of heart surgery.
There was a bisection that took place, I guess, on his eyeball or heart surgery, but it was a day treatment and it wasn't an extended stay in hospital. Otherwise, he'd have published the documents. Now, as far as I'm aware, if you're seriously ill, you're probably looking at week-long stays or probably even longer in hospital before they discharge you and say, fuck off and die. Go in a hospice somewhere and enter end-of-life care, right? I didn't see anything there to say that Jim has been hospitalized longer than a day.
It is strange, isn't it? I would have to re-look through the medical records, but I don't think there was an extended stay. I think you're right for this heart attack that he had it in his 40s. that would, I mean, people would be in the hospital for maybe even a month after having a serious heart attack.
I know of no one, Persip, that has had a major heart attack that he described that then walks out the day of. I know of no one that has that.
I don't know of anyone. I've never even heard of anybody survive. My personal experience, I've never heard of anybody surviving a heart attack at that young an age. So I think it might be exaggerated a bit, or there's something that's not making any sense.
Do you think his anxiety that we are aware of, that he has had for the longest, and he's had to take prescriptions for way before all of the cancer stuff, do you think the anxiety causes like panic attacks that he deludes himself into thinking are heart attacks?
Well, if you listen to the COVID streams, it's clear he's out of his fucking mind, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you listen to back to those COVID streams, he's having like a nervous breakdown, telling everybody they're going to die. I mean, the guy was completely out of his mind. So, yeah, I think that he's definitely having panic attacks.
So this is a valid point. Someone says, until I see a skeletal man rotting in a wheelchair on stream, I'll never believe it. And you're supposed to believe, because he's admitted this, that he hasn't digested a solid meal in years. He eats through a tube. Remember this? He eats like space food through a tube. But the voice doesn't sound in any way weaker. Right?
No, not really. For a few streams there, on one of those I'm Gonna Die streams, he sounded like garbage. But lately he sounded very healthy.
I don't know. Part of me feels like Jim ain't nowhere near a skeleton if he's having, if he's living the way he is. We only have to imagine what Jim looks like, and you see War Corpse, right?
I imagine he's a blob.
I imagine he's fat as fuck. Like,
yeah.
But he's supposed to be on liquids, not even eating, and has been so for years. This is the diet of someone that was on or is in hospice on end of life treatment, right? But maybe that's just me.
What he's describing, yeah. What he's describing, yeah, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That's it. That would be another thing that would be completely unrelated. Why would he be eating through a tube? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe you can enlighten on this one. Someone says he ain't nowhere near a skeleton if he's been on prednisone. Why would that not be?
Well, he would be, because it causes you to gain a lot of weight.
Gain weight. And I know on a lot of the prescriptions, because I looked them up.
It would also cause, your bones to lose density, but not that quick. Not that they would be turning
to dust.
Yeah.
Now, as well, because I looked at, when he posted the picture of all of the pills that he takes with his name on and stuff like this, I looked at a lot of the pills, and a lot of them said that they could only really be taken if they were with food, solid food, so he could keep them down. So how does he correlate that with the liquid-only diet that
that was the other thing, too. If he wasn't capable, if he's not capable of doing, I don't know how exactly he'd have. I suppose it's possible. The whole story makes no sense. Why would he need a feeding tube for?
Yes. Why would you need that?
It's unrelated to his cancer. It's unrelated to a heart attack. It's unrelated to his bones turning to dust. It doesn't make any sense.
But how is he even able to take these pills without just constantly throwing up if there's no food, solid food in his system? I mean, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're having those pills and you need those pills, but you can't digest solid food, you're literally on a drip, right? And all of the pills are mixed together. They're not in pill form anymore. They're literally diluted and dripped into you, aren't they? Because you can't eat. Is that what happens?
Did he have a GI tube? I can't remember now. Does he have a GI tube, or did he just say that he couldn't eat solid food?
I'll have to go back and play the thing, but he said he's not eaten solid food in 2 years.
He can't take those.
He's been on liquids.
I don't know. Maybe they would put it in the GI tube. GI tube is nasty business.
Someone says he just eats through a tube because he's some kind of weird masochist. Jay dresses up in black latex suit and force feeds him through a tube. It's a kink he gets off by pretending he's dying so everyone feels sorry for him. But the thing is, like...
Well, that's exactly like Boogie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, right? Where is the difference here? With Jim, it's more transparent because he's bizarrely and foolishly and fucking retardedly, because of, I guess, in a fit of arrogance, he's released far too much information that we can poke the holes through it so much that we have done, like, literally in this conversation, right? With Boogie, I mean, that was as transparent, but, you know, he's not been pretending beyond saying, I have a blood cancer that's going to let me die 20 years sooner than I would naturally, right? He has never elaborated on it beyond that. He's never actually said he's feeding through a tube, he's terminal, he posted all of these pills, posted all of these scans that are inconclusive. He's never done that. So, bizarrely, the case for Jim faking the cancer is stronger. But I guess in the course of the internet, it's not.
I mean, B-cell lymphoma, too, I mean, it's fairly treatable. You know, it's a slow killer, and it's also fairly treatable. It doesn't make any sense. It wouldn't cause you to need a GI tube. It wouldn't cause your bones to turn to dust. It wouldn't cause you to have a heart attack for sure. All the ailments are so fucking random. I can't make any sense of any of it.
Do you not think, though, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen a hypochondriac IRL, but they wake up that day genuinely panicked to the point where they've made themselves physically ill because they believe they've got
Jim
all
Sterling.
of this. Yeah, like Jim Sterling.
Yeah, Jim Sterling.
But, you know, they're aware of something.
Child with a disability.
They'll watch something in the news, they'll read something, they'll hear of someone being ill, and they'll internalize that illness themselves and convince themselves that they've got it. Now, it's different here because eventually, you know, here in the NHS, like, they'll eventually say no. But in America, they can privately fund all of these scans like Jim does. They can privately write to doctors the way that Jim does. They can privately keep spending more and more money and accumulating more and more wishy-washy evidence to build their case that they're ill, right? Which is what this is, in my opinion.
It's true. And in the report, Jim is actually flagged for being a potential Munchausen's because they couldn't explain any. Like, I'm not a doctor, so of course I can't really figure this out. But Jim has been to multiple specialists, and none of them can figure it out. It's a mystery to everybody. None of these doctors. Jim is writing to these agencies saying, I'm on death's door, I have an unknown illness, and they're not responding or taking him into the program.
No.
So there's something really strange going on here.
I mean, from what we've seen, all of the doctors don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, they do know, but they can't say it, I guess. They can't say, look, you're mentally fucked in the head, unless he has to go to some sort of psychiatric test where they can diagnose Munchausen's. I guess they can't just do it, you know, on site. They have to really, you know, get a psychiatric thing for the Munchausen's. So he can just continue to perpetuate this, right, until the end of time, until he does die, which I imagine is going to be quite a long way away.
I would imagine so. I mean, I don't know how Boogie's not already dead. If we're going to look at two specimens, of course, we don't know what Jim looks like. Maybe Jim looks like Boogie, but it looks like Boogie is on death's door any day now. I mean, Boogie looks tough.
But then, you know, you look at Boogie, and, you know, they're hanging him on the cross because he said, you know, you said you had this blood cancer. You said, you know, you could die any day of a stroke or a heart attack. Well, he could, simply by just being Boogie and being 500 pounds. Like, that's not outside of the realm of possibility that he will die of a stroke or a heart attack. He doesn't need cancer for that. So why are they pulling... Like, he will die. He will die prematurely. He does have a life-ending illness, and that is being fat as fuck. So, you know, he will go. So I don't understand why the cancer thing has been picked up on so hard.
Do you think we're going to have to go through this with Ash eventually, where Ash is going to be begging for money for illnesses?
Yes.
That's what the show is going to turn into.
Well, yeah, I mean...
My knee, it doesn't work anymore. I can't walk. I need your money. I really do. Please, God, no.
And then people will just ignore the fact that he was eating all that much and stuff.
He was eating 20 bags of family-sized potato chips.
The doctors simply don't know what's wrong with me. I'm clearly a healthy man, and they simply don't know what's wrong with me. So I'm going to write to everyone, but I need your money to do so. I need your money to keep living.
That could be an explanation why Jim had a heart attack in his 40s, because he's a big fat fuck.
Yes.
I mean,
that has zero exercise. That is a big fat fuck who, by his own admission, has zero exercise, is completely sedentary, doesn't have a diet in any way, shape, or form, sits around watching anime all day.
The easiest explanation for this. That is the easiest explanation for everything that's going wrong with him.
He's just fat and mentally ill.
Because if he's 600 pounds, yeah, your bones would start to degrade. Yeah, you would have a heart attack. Yeah, your organs would start to shut down. That's interesting. I never considered that it was the most obvious answer, being incredibly fat.
But in Jim's mind, does he not see, like Boogie does, that his fatness is nullified if he's got cancer? That it's not actually the result of his being fat, it's the result of, a cancer that he doesn't have.
Him smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, perhaps?
But it's not any of that. It's this untreatable, undiagnosed nonsense.
Jim is chain smoking. As he's on these streams, he's chain smoking. As he's telling you he's dying, which good for him if he wants to chain smoke himself to death. But you have to think that must be a factor in all of this as well.
But notice that no lung cancer or anything like this that he suspects he has. I guess he relates all of these illnesses that he convinces himself that he's got completely away from the smoking. I've never seen him say, I smoke, I have all this, and it's because of the smoking. I've always seen him say, it's fine to smoke, really. I can keep going because I have these illnesses that are born completely separately from this.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with my smoking either. It is fascinating how the mind works. I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of it, though. I just can't believe there's not one picture of him. These people are literally, they're everywhere. They're leaving potato sacks and birthday cards and all kinds of crazy stuff in front of his house, and none of them has ever seen him. Now, they've seen Jade and her mother. They've seen Jade has been spotted many, many times, but no spottings of Jim.
Well, he just doesn't leave the house, bro. He's neat and proud. I think that's what that is.
Imagine Jade's got to cut the lawn. Then Jade's making her Chinese mother cut the lawn. She's like 80 years old.
Well, that's what Jim is admitting is happening. Jade's doing all of the chores.
Yeah, I know.
And he will fire up a live stream in order to pay her for all of this work that she does around the house and around the garden.
It's crazy.
Your stream now, Jim. You'll give me $1. I think that's the conversation that happens.
You think they blow all the money on all of these medical treatments and stuff?
Yeah, I think that's where the vast majority of the money's going, because they aren't inexpensive. I was Googling some of these scans.
They're really expensive.
And to privately fund them, I mean, Jim has no health insurance, so he's privately funding all of this stuff. That's why he can be so prolific. That's why he can go from doctor to doctor.
You don't think he's on Medicaid or something?
Medicaid would have run out by now, right? If this guy is going around to all of these doctors, and these doctors have all told him, no, there's actually nothing wrong with you, wouldn't the Medicaid run out?
It depends, I suppose.
So, I mean, the reason why he can continue to do this is because he's privately funding this. So I think the vast majority of it's going on the medical treatments, but also he has a very expensive hobby in anime, as we've seen his Anime Way dungeon that he posted a picture of. I think someone did a tally up of that, and it was about $500,000. The fucking action figures, all of the different mangas, all of this weird nonsense. It was about $500,000.
Blu-rays.
Just all
figurines.
All trash. So $500,000 just there in degeneracy. I imagine probably double that, let's say, on the medical scans and all of these visits to the doctors. However much he's spending on paying Jade as his carer, which is what she is now. She's not a wife, she's just an employee. So, I mean, I can see why he's having to do all of this, the grifting, and why it's been so profitable.
It has been very profitable. And it's been getting more and more and more obnoxious, where half the stream he just plays an ad for buying hats.
Well, I guess he's running out of options because the doctors that will now give him the time of day are going to be the real high price ones. You know, they're going to real demand the top dollar to entertain this fuck. So I imagine that's why he's been really shilling the hats and shit of late. I mean, he was shilling the hats as he was calling out Boogie for having fake cancer.
Can you imagine? Those hats are cursed. The only people we've seen in those hats were at all these freak events, like that off-kai. Remember, we spotted a few people with the Medicare hats on. They were more hideous and fat than Gator was. I mean, it was insane.
Well, he has to give them the hard sell. And what I've noticed as well is that, you know, he's been shilling these hats on all of these Boogie streams and whatever he's been doing. He's been shilling the hats, but the hats now have gone up $10. You know, bizarrely, they've just instantly gone up $10 than they were prior.
Yeah. Now the hats are $40 a piece. Spent $40 on this cursed hat. Everybody we've ever seen in the hat, they're all freaks. It's so bad. Do you think it's more of a public service, though, in a way?
Well, it identifies the paedophiles amongst us, doesn't it? If they wear the hat, like, at least we know.
We know for sure. Like at that off-kai, I mean, you could spot them a mile away, and with that hat on, then you really know. It's like there's no benefit of the doubt anymore when they have the Sweetie Squad hat on. It's not good.
It's side seal delivered. Someone says, I'm not convinced the medical scans are even real. Yeah? I mean...
Well, they don't make any sense.
The thing is, on the medical scans, as you scroll through, you can see the dates that he was scanned and all of this. A lot of them do tend to be on the same day. But a lot of them don't even have a result. They're sort of a wheel pending. Can you remember this person? They're just a pending wheel. And some of them are pending from like 10 years ago or some nonsense.
Even more than that.
Even more than that. So, I mean, it all adds up. Whether or not the day will come that he has this Boogie-esque downfall, God only knows. But maybe it will just be the fact that when his audience is more and more exposed for just being Gator and other pedophiles that, you know, want to celebrate being pedophiles, maybe people will feel less scared to have this conversation that we're having now. And once again, we'll be proven right, as we always are.
Well, we are always right. It seems to be the case every time. We'll see what happens. You know, like, I don't know. It's such a bizarre thing. It's like, you know, you can't say I can't say I wish him not well, and I can't say I wish him well either. It's just kind of a whole fucked up.
No, I mean, no one wishes death on him, but you know who's wishing death on Jim the most? Jim. Jim is wishing himself death. So, you know, it
seems that way.
One feels sympathy for someone so mentally ill, so mentally fucked, that they refuse to accept treatment for that mental illness, and instead rage at the world for not giving them that treatment.
Well, it's like when the Mayo Clinic says to you, you know, like, we have no idea what's wrong with you, dude. Like, there's so many problems and they're so disparate and they make no sense when you combine them together that, you know. Jim is live. Is he actually live?
I hope he's live. Because, yet again, it perpetuates... I mean, this is a man who should be dead, right? A man who wishes himself dead. Yet, every last one of his words could be his last, right? He could die moments after sending an Ethan Ralph tweet. Moments after laughing at Nick Fuentes. Moments after calling Flamenco the pedophile a king. Calling Gator a funny comedian on the internet. He could die moments after any one of these tweets that he makes. 24/7. And like...
That'll be his legacy.
That'll be his legacy. So...
It's a damn shame. But no real comments on Boogie, huh? I don't know what do you say about Boogie? He's been doing the same shit forever since Francis.
Yeah, he's been doing the gym
got
grift.
scammed by Boogie, right?
Really, he's been doing the gym grift for the past 2 years, but in a real diet form. You know, a sugar-free gym grift. That's all it's been. So.
Boogie still hits all the same beats too. I was molested. This happened. That happened. I spent $500,000 on whores because I was lonely.
Yes. But I mean, the only thing really interesting about Boogie is this sissy Spacek he's got. And we all know that eventually she will flee the coup, and we'll see lots and lots of tell-all revelations. That'll be interesting, but I don't find any interest in the fake cancer moral outrage that's happening.
Well, they initially went after him for this crypto, but that was clearly fake to begin with. It was clearly a scam crypto to begin with.
Well, he told everyone it was a scam. He told everyone it was a scam. Yeah. He was doing videos as Andrew Tate, telling everyone it was a scam.
Content he's delivered in a long time. I didn't realize Sissy Spacek had that kind of body on her. I didn't realize what was going on there until he literally had her put her ass and tits in front of the camera in little shorts.
So it appears that he is actually live as we're talking, and he's doing a stream on Boogie. Like, it's poetry. It rhymes, folks. It actually does rhyme. Now, we can cover the stream if you want.
Why don't we do it? Why not? We could do it till the top of the hour, till the 3-hour mark.
I've been going for 3 hours.
Do you think it's just going to be him screaming?
Well, let's see.
How dare you, fake cancer?
It's I didn't actually know he was going live. I don't think he knew he was going live, but I guess he had to defend accusations that he had cancer. So he's had to jump on live and make a stream on Boogie. What is his channel called now? Is it Metica still?
Mr. Metica.
Okay. I thought it was Moshi Moshi Moan, unfortunately. You know, that's what I thought we were.
Moshi Moshi Moan.
All right, so
well, that's a real man.
And he admits it. It's all bullshit.
All right, here we go.
When he was waving his little phone in the air and saying that was his portal and he had the information on that, and his roommates and everybody else could see it and it was all true, but he wouldn't send it to anybody. All bullshit. And I think most people picked up on that, because who's going to refuse $80,000 to send a single screenshot? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't feasibly make any sense, especially at the tail end of a crypto scam. So it was a rough fucking patch of days there for the boogeyman. Crypto scam, get embarrassed by that, fake cancer, get nailed on that. How do we top that? Where does it go from there? Well, I've got a dark, dark stream for you today.
Is it a recollection of your life,
which is actually?
Are you going to tell us the truth? Is that how dark it is?
Yesterday or the day before. We're going to go after one of his other larger claims.
Yeah.
See what you think about it.
Oh boy.
Because this is something else that apparently is a point of contention. And can you really blame people?
That's where we're going to go.
Boogie's become the man that cried wolf. And now everything and anything that he's ever said or done is a suspect. After the crypto scam, after the cancer bullshit, can you really take his word at anything? And so this week has been weird. You have this all kind of playing out, and then people are hesitant. They don't really know when they're watching this, is this real? Is this just like a scripted kind of kayfabe thing? I couldn't tell you. Maybe Keemstar and the boys are cooking this back in the lab. I don't know. But the amount of reputational damage that Boogie has taken seems to be fucking extraordinary.
I mean, for Boogie to have reputational damage per se, he'd have to have, like, his reputation not already Boogie's been around for 20 years on the internet.
Are we acting like Boogie still had a reputation to begin with?
You know, like, there was no reputation for Boogie to sully, which is why he's been faking having cancer, which is why he's been shilling crypto, which is why he's moved in an 18-year-old. Like, the guy's career and reputation is already fucked. It's already over. To clutch our pearls and talk about Boogie's reputation now. Like, the guy today has literally had a fucking liar face tattoo on his face. You know, but there's no he does a podcast with Wings of fucking Redemption called Lol Cow Podcast, right? The guy has no reputation per se. Please correct me on this. Please tell me there was some sort of reputation for Boogie to salvage that he squandered
there is
away.
No reputation. Boogie's been known as an insane liar and grifter forever. Since the first wife left him, right?
Since even before then, bro. Like, I
him.
remember people calling Boogie a fat grifter, like, when he was saying he was going to lose the weight, he grifted donos and didn't lose the weight. Remember the weight loss arc? The first one?
Yes.
The very first one? You know, people were calling him a fat grifter, like... People saying he lost his reputation when he had the fucking teeth. The Ship of Theseus teeth. You know, the disco teeth.
Well, that's way after his wife left him. I would say things really turned after the wife left. And remember he did that video where he was, like, attacking the mannequins?
Yeah.
You hated me. You hated Francis.
No, I mean, people were saying he'd lost his reputation way before then. Over various fucking nonsense, you know.
It's true.
I mean, people were saying
true.
he lost his reputation, right? This is probably the earliest one I can fucking recall. People were calling him a sellout during the fucking Apple ads, you know, the MacBook ads. People were calling him a fucking sellout then that lost his reputation as an authentic gamer, right? When he was shilling for Apple, literally in the fucking adverts for Apple. Lost his reputation. This is a guy who came onto the internet. This guy came onto the internet as a man who would smear himself in food, smash up like furniture and Xboxes, nude almost, in a funny voice. What reputation was there to lose?
This massive reputation, bro. You don't remember?
This paragon of virtue.
Sterling.
I'll play a few more bits of this, but you know, this is just completely disingenuous nonsense. Why they get Boogie? I have no. It must really be a slow news week.
Call the police on Boogie. He's such a rational and safe person who never spurts out. Why would you need to call the police on
What are
Boogie?
they going to make fun of Ralph
What
being
could possibly be going on?
I mean, come
Well,
on.
let's see what the show topic was.
It's all been done a million times.
Buckle
before.
up,
I
audience.
just gotta go
We're
back
going
to old
fucking
favorites.
dark today.
Buckle up, audience. We're going dark today.
Has been saying throughout the years that different stories about his abuse, and they do not match up. Now, this is a known liar, a known manipulator, right? And here people have gone throughout the years, and they got statements.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I knew he was going to.
Come on.
So he's going to go after. He's going to go after Boogie for the molestation claim.
So
I knew he was.
So listen to this, right? Boogie is a known liar. Pretty much everyone on the internet for 20 years knows that Boogie is a liar. There's always been these lies around Boogie. He's a known liar. And this is why, when he said he had cancer, everyone just said he was lying anyway. They didn't give a shit because it's the word of a liar. So why are we now pretending that we believed the cancer, but not all of the other lies? And now we feel betrayed because the cancer was also one of many lies that Boogie has told throughout his life. Can you explain this to me, bro? Why we should give a shit?
I was always told by a particular individual that you never trust anybody over 300 pounds because you know there's something really mentally wrong with them.
This is true.
I never believed anything that Boogie said because you never knew if it was Francis or Boogie anyway.
But no one believed him. No one believed what he said. There was a fucking whole subreddit that hated him.
I was in character. It wasn't me saying this. It was in a character I was saying it.
Person, when I heard that Boogie had told his audience he had cancer, you know what I thought immediately, instantly, 2 years ago? That's another lie.
Yes.
You know, it's another lie. Like all of the other lies. I didn't then discount, my prior judgment on Boogie and go, oh God, that guy has cancer now. Even though I don't believe anything else that he's ever said, but he's got cancer. Come on.
You didn't believe that Boogie had cancer? What kind of heartless person are you?
This is the logical reasoning I'm trying to ration out here. So.
Well, didn't everybody call out Boogie that his cancer was fake when he announced it?
Literally 2 years ago. So why is this being reheated now? Huh? Lying man lies. For you to believe...
not doing so well 2 years ago, and there was nothing to grift off of. Boogie's had a resurgence with this Lolcow Live, which I don't particularly understand, but there has been a bit of a resurgence for them as far as making money goes. So now all of the Vipers are trying to get paid.
Now they're trying to say that's my money. I'm the real cancer patient. But for me,
Racket's going under.
For me, to even have the conceit that Boogie has cancer, you have to completely disregard what you've thought and said, right? You can't believe that Boogie has cancer and believe he's a liar as well on all of the other things that he's said throughout the dawn of time. They're not. You can't do that, can you? Reasonably.
No, I don't think anybody believes that. I don't think anybody believed it when he announced it. I remember people going, Boogie is faking cancer 2 years ago.
But the argument that Jim presents is that we only found out, I guess, 2-3 weeks ago that Boogie was a liar and was lying about all of this. And beforehand, he was this paragon of virtue truth teller, to the point where he duped his loyal audience to give him loads of money because he was a paragon of virtue and they believed he had cancer. That's the argument that Jim presents, that you have to believe in order to believe this stream.
You have to twist your mind up into a knot to even believe what he's trying to sell you. But, these are people that believe he's been dying of cancer for 6 years, any day. So, he's got them by the ball. They're his little cult. They'll believe anything that he tells them. If he tells them, Boogie was a saint and he never did anything until now and he lied about his cancer.
Which is exactly what he's saying, by the way. This is exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
But now he's doing a stream on all of these conflicting abuse accusations throughout that he's been saying for like 20 fucking years, since his very second video on YouTube. Now he's going to say that Boogie was always a liar, right? So one can't stand without the other, right? If Boogie was always a liar and everyone's been aware of it for 20 years, literally everyone in this... Who was there to fucking dupe? Who was there to fucking dupe? Why is the cancer even an outrage?
Well, the cancer man didn't know. I guess he was a Boogie fan until now.
Yeah.
He just realized in the space year 2024, that Boogie is a liar and a grifter. It's shocking, isn't it?
That's where we're at.
Lie about something like that?
This is where we're at,
I don't know if Boogie's lied. How would you even know? How would you even be able to prove or unprove that anyway?
Boogie's clearly a liar, and he's always been a liar, But the thing is with a liar, once they tell him enough lies, you discount what they say anyway, and you look at them like a spectacle anyway, And if you want to believe the lie, by all means, but you ain't duped. You ain't duped. Are you?
Well, apparently, if Medicare tells you you've been duped, then you're duped.
Well, I've yet to see. Jim has been standing on this moral soapbox, this high ground, and saying that this poor audience has been duped. This poor audience has been giving money to Boogie, and they feel so duped. I have yet to see even one member of this audience go on an interview and say, I was an innocent that was brought into Boogie's life. There is no audience member that is real that was duped. There is no one around that will give testimony to the fact that they believed Boogie on everything, and this cancer thing is the straw that broke the camel's back, and they had no idea, right? I've yet to see that at all. But I guess they're out there, because Jim's making streams on streams.
I don't know, could you even read his chat? It's just, they're just spamming nonsense.
This one chat says, congrats on being monetized again. You deserve it. Sunglasses emoji, win stream. So, that's where we're at. I'm going to wrap this per se, I think we've called out the bullshit for what it is. And if people...
What else is there to say?
What else is there to say? But, each frame of this stream, I imagine, will be fertile in being able to point out the double standards and the hypocrisy and shoot holes through the logical reasoning that Jim is hanging this whole arc on. But, you know, I'm tired, bro.
I hear you. I'm gonna go eat.
Well, give me some wrap-up.
Well,
Take us out.
So, what have we discussed? You want to do a little bit of a summary here? We discussed Destiny, his grandmother, eating dogs, I guess, and having dementia, having a pissing contest with the dog. Destiny, of course, has been very controversial lately, saying that all Trump supporters should be shot and be killed. His son also pretended to shoot his father in the head in a video where he was thrown off Twitch. We talked about the election, Kamala Harris, if she is a viable candidate, and how this will go, and how they'll steal the election again. I don't believe that they'll be able to steal the election. I think it's impossible at this point. And we've just been talking about how Jim's medical diagnoses have not made any sense. They don't make any sense, and he's been dying, and apparently everybody's supposed to believe that Boogie was also dying, even though people called him out on it immediately when he announced that he had cancer. Nobody believed it. And now we're pretending that Boogie was seen as a paragon of moral virtues and truth-telling. And we have to live in that delusion, as Medicare tells us, that Boogie is a bad grifter who lies.
That's pretty accurate summary of events, I think, person. I think my next stream is going to be all about the current election. I'll be going through some of the stuff that we spoke about here, I guess, but in more animated detail.
Oh, that's exciting.
We'll be going through it step by step. And we'll explore some of the takes as well. We'll get crazy, I think. But this was just a little filler to break the ground and try and see what's out there. I guess what's out there is the same old shit. All right.
It's the same old shit regurgitated.
Well, thanks for calling in,
See
person.
you, brother.
And I'll just take us out. Thank you, sir. It's, again, this man eating...
Not being all healthy.
So scandalous.
This is not what I wanted to play, by the way. This isn't happening.
Ryan, Muller Light, get the good going.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen. Thus ends today's show. Stay tuned, dear viewer. Many shenanigans and happenings. Always in development, I guess. Never ending. The sector always speaks to truth and power in this hive of scum and villainy that we find ourselves in. So, juice! And until next time.